You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. This is Coach Brett with another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. I'm at Kai's soccer game. It's halftime, and you can hear all the kids around playing soccer. One of the greatest sports to build stamina because you're on your feet the whole day. So this episode is going to be super, super cool. We have the second half of the Strong Like Bull training camp in Spain, which is epic stuff. We do a huge mountain climb to the highest paved road in Spain. We got Emily, me, and maybe Kai kind of mixed in there, and kind of a review of camp and what it's like. And also, we have an interview with Ben Greenfield about a book that he has coming out. And Ben's kind of a special guy in that he does minimalist training and still does like sub 10 hour Ironmans. It's pretty amazing. So he knows what he's talking about. And then we also have the news from Sonia Wick. And she is down in Melbourne, Australia, doing support for Angela Nath at Angela's first fully competitive full Ironman. She did Ironman Tahoe, but just more to experience it and not to try to win it. And Melbourne is a big deal, big race. She's actually gonna try to, podium, win, whatever. And Sonia went down with her to support her and be her Sherpa. And the news with Sonia is done over Skype, and Angela is in the background in the same room putting together her fuel, which is super cool. So this is going to be a really, really interesting show. And I thought I'd start off with two things: an equipment review of a piece of equipment I just got. There's a guy jogging. And also a Zen moment. Something that really, really struck me as interesting was this Zen concept. I thought it was really good to use for triathlon training. And the concept is to go for the experience instead of time or winning or numbers, right? Trying to beat numbers. And the non-triathlon example of this is you're a chef in a kitchen, and you have a reputation, or you want to keep a reputation or get a reputation of being the fastest. Like say McDonald's serves burgers really, really fast, right? So you want to be like that. You want to put out the fastest or the most amount of burgers in the shortest amount of time. Okay, so you can kind of see that this is like triathlon, right? So you want to be the fastest person on race day or whatever. But anyway, when you go for time or distance or volume first, then everything around you becomes an obstacle. So let's say you're working in this kitchen and you're trying to get out 10 burgers in the next 10 minutes. Well, somebody around you, drops a burger or can't find the spatula or something like that. Well, they're a problem. And then that's the way that affects you psychologically is it stresses you out, and it makes you view life, because you can't help these things when somebody's slow or there's a grease fire or somebody knocks your bike over or something like that. That's just life. You're never ever, no matter how much you smooth out your life and as good as you get at everything, you're never going to stop these things from happening. Life happening. Life is what happens when you make other plans, I think is the saying. Well, because you've set yourself up in a way where these things are problems, they're going to make you miserable, and they are obstacles and difficulties and frustrations that you that make you angry at the world around you and make you unhappy. And you can tell when somebody's like this, they're in a rush. For example, yeah, that's a really good example. You're in a rush. Well, little things that keep popping up really frustrate you and anger you. So in the triathlon training experience, you should, if you want to be happier, is you treat it all like an experience and quit saying, I need to run, whatever pace, or I need to bike so many miles. And instead, you hop on the bike or get in the pool or whatever you're going to do and say, I'm going to, from now until when I'm done working out, I'm going to feel this workout. And I'm going to respond to how it feels and do the correct response for how it feels. If I feel like going faster, I'll go faster. If something happens and I need to slow down, then that's an experience. See, it's experience-based instead of problem-based. Somebody just ran by. I'm standing right next to a big sidewalk loop that people use as a track. So, I started doing this like half a week ago or so. I've always kind of done it, but I'm also very focused on distances and hours per week and time and pace. And I'm running along at night, and I'm just feeling how my run is making my body respond. And then I'm responding appropriately with the right amount of fuel, And instead of trying to fix my workout, I'm just letting my, I need to do this to go faster. I need to do this to do it. No, I'm just responding. I'm eating the right amount of fuel for what I'm doing because I'm listening. And I'm going the right pace for how I feel. And you can see how this compounds into better and better results. Because now you're training your body for how it feels, and then you're doing the right thing for how you feel. And so it was really funny is I'm running along, and I'm just jogging, and then a shooting star shot from directly overhead over the horizon to the over the horizon in front of me. So it kind of was going the same direction I was going, and it went from overhead off into the distance. And that was so the same path that I was going, and it just shot across the sky. And because I was present and because I was feeling it, I was able to witness it, and it was really pretty. It was blue. It was really, really nice. And I was like, this is the experience. This is health. This is fitness. This is good stuff, everybody. So I thought I'd share that with you. Go for the experience. And when you're in the moment, and you'll actually get better results because you're doing what the situation asks of you instead of you trying to fix everything and then being frustrated because you can't fix everything. So there's that. And then also, I just got some cool new shifters that I wanted to tell everybody about. The shifters on my tri-bike at the end of the aero bar extensions were really, really old, and the bike's been dropped a bunch, and packed and shipped and banged up and bumped into things and traveled and on the backs of cars and stuff. So they're banged up and they're starting to come apart. And I would really like to have Dura-Ace, or Ultegra electronic shifting. But it's too expensive for me right now. So I opted for something that's super, super cool. Is SRAM, S-R-A-M, SRAM, and SRAM owns Zip. So SRAM and Zip make return to center shifters. And what's the coolest thing is they're super aerodynamic. They point straight forward, so they're in line with the airflow. And then they, when you shift, they snap back to center again. So they're return to center, and the abbreviation is R2C. R and the number 2, and then C for return to center. And SRAM makes ones that are kind of flat lever looking, and then Zip makes them, and they're more contoured to fit your hands, your fingertips, and look a little bit more aero. And I went with the zip ones because I've got zip aero bars and zip wheels, so I just went with zip. And I started using them the other day, and man, are they cool. The lever throw is a little bit longer than I thought they would be, but now I'm used to that. And it is so cool that they snap back straight forward, and then you don't have these big levers hanging down or out or sideways or up, ruining your airflow over your hands. These things point straight forward, and they look super, super cool. So the downside is they're kind of expensive. They are anywhere between $250 and $350. Depending on where you get them. They're carbon, which is nice. So they're nice and lightweight. And they've been around for a few years now, so you can find them on, you can find them online, you can find them on eBay, you can find them. So you can probably find, I found them, I forgot where I got them from, but I found them for upper 200s and then took them to my bike shop and had them put them on my bike so they're put on right. And then there's one last thing. Hey, we just scored. Cool. There's one last thing in that you need to know what kind of... There's two different models, and you need to know what you're getting. So if you get these. So there's SRAM, and then there's Shimano style ones. And that matters because in your rear derailleur, there's a different length of throw for the different brands, and if you get the SRAM based ones, then the throw will be the wrong distance, and your bike won't shift right on the rear derailleur. So the way you can tell the difference is ones that are SRAM. I'm sorry, the soccer game is wild. They're getting so good now. They're 9 years old, so they're really badass. The SRAM ones are have anodized red on the inside of the shifters, and so you would get those if you have a SRAM drivetrain rear derailleur on your bike. And the Shimano-based ones have silver on the shifters and no red. And you would get those if you have a Shimano-based drivetrain. So I have a Shimano rear derailleur and a Shimano front derailleur on my bike. So I got Zip VUCA return to center R2C shifters with silver. They're kind of disc-looking pieces on the inside. That way I know that they'll work with Shimano drivetrain. So there's all that. All right. I'm posting pictures of these things on Twitter. I'm so stoked. They're super cool. And when you invest time and money in your bike, one important thing, or in your life, in your car, and like all kinds of things, contact points are very, very important. That there's something that you like, and you like the way they feel, and you like the way they look. And that's because you touch anything that you touch on a regular basis. It's really important that they feel nice. And it's your saddle, your handlebars, your pedals, your shoes, and your shifters and your elbow pads are places where you ought to spend a little bit extra money so that you're happy with however you do it, whatever you're into. Okay, let's move on to the news with Sonia down under. She's upside down while I'm right side up while we're doing this little conversation. And we're covering the news. And again, listen for Angela in the background. It's super cool. She's in the background. Today's Saturday here in the United States, and that means she's going to race tonight. So I'm super stoked about that. All right, here we go with Sonia.
Well, after you came to stay with him once for a race. Brash, honest, and confident are a few lighter words I would use to describe him. I like to view my real Starkey alter ego as my way of putting my fist in the teeth of all the douchebag, bragging, cheating, egotistical, dishonest triathletes and businesses in this community that pump themselves up and take advantage in any way they possibly can.
Wow.
Well done, Jim.
Well, Sonia, I have something to admit.
Yeah.
I'm the real Starkey.
No, you are not.
Or is it you?
No, it's not me.
No.
If it
You're
it could
supposed
be
to say
anyone.
it's you.
No, it could be anyone, but it is not me. There's no way it's me because we have figured out here in Australia that I don't have any sarcasm.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't have that gene.
Oh. Is
No,
that
and I'm not
required
even
down
being
there?
right now. I'm being like for real. I don't. I can like get it when people are being sarcastic, but I'm sort of unable to be sarcastic myself.
Oh.
I know. It's
So
sad,
how does this get revealed in how does Australia reveal this to you?
Oh, well, the Aussies here are like sarcasm's their middle name. It's
Oh.
like their country culture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Aussies are.
And you
I mean, I
totally
didn't know that before I came, but yeah, there's a lot of sarcasm going around here.
and you don't get it or you don't know how to do it.
No, I get it. I just can't do it back.
Oh. Oh, you'll probably pick up on it. How much longer? Okay, when did you get there?
I've been here a week.
A week. Okay. And then so what is the situation like down there besides the endless amounts of sarcasm?
I know.
I
The
saw
weather,
Angela tweet something about the food is fantastic.
yeah, fantastic. Like it's Melbourne is known for its cafe culture.
Uh-huh.
So every little like corner area, little corner shopping kind of area or whatever has a cafe. And the
Okay.
cafe will have coffee, like hot chocolate, really good, really, really good coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I've had coffee every day
Mm-hmm.
because it's so good here. No, it's not bitter. It's just like smooth. And
Right.
then they'll have the typical Aussie breakfast is sourdough toast with 2 poached eggs on top.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, but then they do variations. They'll do like sourdough toast with pesto on it, with
Oh,
2 eggs,
Yeah.
with arugula and avocado.
Ooh.
Like, yeah. So and pretty much every cafe has that sort of,
Uh-huh.
that basic breakfast. And then there's sort of add-ons to that breakfast. Oh, so it's like perfect triathlete food, really healthy. And yeah, it's like everywhere. Pretty much every little block has a cafe that you just walk into and you know you're going to get really good, fresh food.
So are you training at all down there or are you just hanging out?
Yeah. I'm doing a ton of training.
Cool.
Yep. So it's kind of like I feel bad for the people who are racing Ironman because they sort of like have all their just little tiny sessions left. But
Uh-huh.
I went and rode 90 miles.
Holy cow.
And so I got to go see all this wonderful, amazing stuff and rode on the beach. And
Yeah.
oh, it was divine.
Do you have to stop in the road as a flock of koala bears
No.
go by being carried
No.
by kangaroos or what's it really like?
Okay, well, first off, koala bears do not travel in flocks. Like, they're pretty solitary animals.
They come across like a herd across the
No.
road of teddy
No,
bears?
they do not. No, but the kangaroos, I think, are more of like a flock type animal, but I haven't seen any of them because they don't really like people.
Oh, okay. They're kind of like
And-
deer, right? They kind of hide out.
They're just like deer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we ate kangaroo 2 nights ago.
Uh-huh. And how's that taste?
It tastes like beef.
Is it red meat or white meat?
It's red, very red.
Very red. Ooh,
Yeah, and really lean.
Oh, I guess that's cool.
Hmm. Angela ate it too.
Oh.
I was impressed. That's going to be Angela's secret weapon. She's like,
Kangaroo meat.
she's
Yeah.
eaten kangaroo, therefore
With
she
Nutella
can like.
smeared all over it or something bizarre.
We haven't had Nutella. We have had Tim Tams
Yeah.
and though, because they're like cookies. So she's waiting till after.
So you're there to Sherpa
Uh-huh.
Angela. So
Yep.
how's Angela feeling? Okay, so I'm guessing this is Angela's first Ironman where she's going to try to be really competitive in it and not just experience it, right? Are we still going with that?
Yeah, no, she's here to compete.
Yeah. Okay. So how's she handling all of it?
Really good. She
Yeah.
just goes through her motions and she's really good at advocating for her needs. So
Yeah.
she just does what is best for her and rests a lot and gets her sessions in. And she's like, I mean, Angela, I've always known her. If I could put like one word on her, it would just be like the professional. She just is very professional with her work.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You said that
Actually-
before. Like she knows exactly what she needs.
Yeah. And so I'm just here to help her make that happen.
No
And then
drinking like Foster's every night.
yeah, she would never do that. She would just always make the right decision for her performance.
Yeah.
Whereas us, we're like, "Ooh, we're here. Why not? I'll, eat a pack of Tim Tams." Like Angela will be, no, that's not the right thing for her performance. So she just
Right.
won't do it, and it's not a big issue. That's how she kind of leads her life. It's very inspiring to be around.
So I remember interviewing her a while back, and she's the one that suggested to me, and it really works. She would count out. This is for shorter races. How many gels she anticipates needing on the race, and then just go ahead and squeeze them into a water bottle.
Yeah.
And is that what she's doing for this one? Same kind of thing, or?
It's actually what she's doing as we speak.
Squeezing out all the gels?
Yeah, like she's doing her little water ball thing that you just described right now.
Oh, cool. I remembered. That's a good trick. Yeah.
And she's putting little lines on her water bottles for like the different hours that she needs to get through, like
Yeah.
her little bottles. So she's on it. She's got a lot of little tips.
Is she going to do a special needs bag halfway through the bike or just ride straight through?
Andrew, you going to do special needs bag on the bike? Nope. She's just going to ride right through.
That's the way I do it. I'm like, that's 30 seconds.
It's 22. I timed it one time.
22 seconds.
That's
how you can tell how like dedicated somebody is. That's 22 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then, so all the fuel out of one bottle.
I think maybe she has 2.
Yeah, 2 fuel bottles.
I think so. And she's got that cool specialized bike that has the bladder inside.
Oh, that's such a cool bike. I love that bike.
Well,
so does she? Is it a wetsuit swim?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we swam yesterday.
Yeah.
It's usually there's chop almost all the time.
Uh-huh.
And yesterday it was really flat. So we actually got a really good day.
Nice.
The lady that we're staying with said it's very rarely like that. We're actually staying with legends.
Mm-hmm.
Our homestay is a set of identical twins that race Ironman.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Guys
Liz
or girls?
and Bern. Girls.
Really?
And they're badasses, like just total badasses. So it's kind of fun.
So let's see, who are some other big name pros that are racing it?
Mary Beth, Caroline Steffen, Rebecca Keat.
Oh, that's going to be a challenge. That's going to be fun.
It'll be fine. Should be fine.
I've never heard of those people.
I know. Bitches. All of them. Oh my gosh, you put on here that Jody Swallow does an extra lap around the Abu Dhabi course.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Okay.
She was pissed. Oh,
yeah.
So pissed.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready to cover some news? Do we need anything Angela wants to say before the big day?
No, she doesn't want to talk. She's in her pre-race thing.
She's in their zone. Yeah. Okay. I get it.
We might be able to get her after, but right now, no.
Right now.
She's
not while she's trying to mix fuels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's...
Okay. Okay. I'm going to put on here. Everyone is allowed to be the real Starkey.
Right.
So can you see it if I make a change right now?
Yeah, I can totally see it right now.
Oh my gosh.
I've been recording since about halfway through your Starkey revelations.
Oh, great.
So,
but you're going to edit it or something, right?
So what?
You're going to edit it, right?
Yeah. We'll get rid of it in post. Don't worry.
Okay.
That's what everybody says. Just kidding.
All right.
So hey everybody. What we've been listening to is me and GoSonja, Sonia Wood, talking about the news of what's going on in the triathlon world, especially specifically down in Melbourne for Ironman Melbourne. Or how do they say it? Melbourne.
They say Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Like we're in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Yeah. And I learned you can't say buoy. Like if you say buoy, an Australian in their head is just laughing at you like you're dumb.
Oh, that's like saying a boot or something like that.
Yeah, it's a boy.
A boy.
A boy. Got it? And I learned the term ochre. Ochre.
What is
That's
that?
like,
Red?
I think it's sort of like what we would say for white trash or ghetto. Like,
Oh, okay.
oh, that's so ochre.
Oh.
And bogan. Bogan is similar. Like,
Bogan.
that's quite the bogan move. Like, just like kind of a dumb, like not very intelligent or well thought out thing.
I was down surfing at Galveston one time, and there was an Australian guy on the seawall, and he's like, "So we're gonna get a mile." And I'm like, "What?"
And you're like,
"Yeah, we
what?
got a mile. And I'm like, "What?" And then he pointed at my longboard, and he's like, "A mile." And I'm like, "Oh, mall. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. Oh, you go rent them down there." That's what they call longboards.
I got in the pool. I was swimming and I had to switch lanes because they were taking one of the lanes. And so I popped in with another guy and I was like, oh, I have 500 left, and then I'll be out. And he goes, oh, it's I'm just fluffing. And I was like,
Yeah, I heard about that.
fluffing. I loved that. So we've been trying to use it, but apparently we keep using it in like the wrong way.
Yeah, there's a wrong way to use that.
Like you're not going for a fluff. That's not the same.
Do you know what a fluffer is?
Yeah, we figured that out too.
Okay. Just so you know. Okay.
Yeah, that's you have to be gentle with that
Yeah,
one.
you have to be careful with the fluffing.
Yep.
Well, cool. Let me hop over to the news. So what Sonia and I do is, well, first off, we got a really nice response from you being on the show last time, so that was super
Oh,
cool.
that's good.
You saw all those tweets.
Yeah, we got some love. That made me feel good.
Yeah.
And bad stuff too. That'll make me feel bad, but that's fine.
What? We got bad stuff?
No, we didn't. But I'm just saying, well, they can say bad stuff if they want.
No, they can't.
They can be critical. That's fine.
And then let's see. So we share a document that we can edit live.
Yep.
And then we can read the news off of it all the time. So it's super easy.
Yeah.
So do you want to do the Jody Swallow thing? Since I guess that's the most recent, and then we'll work backwards.
Yeah. You're gonna have to jump in, but apparently Jody Swallow racing Abu Dhabi last weekend. She did an extra lap on the Abu Dhabi course and was quite angry about having done so. And she actually put a tweet out that said something to the effect that she had a new appreciation for Ironman, which I think is the first ever of that sort of tweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was winning.
Yes, she wasn't.
They did a separate pro male and pro female swim start. And I remember I was watching the commentary on YouTube, and they said Jody would probably rather swim with the guys. She's so fast.
She is very fast.
And draft off of them and work with them,
Right.
And anyway, so from what I can gather, she was winning. She came off the swim first by a lot, and then
2 minutes, I think they said.
Yeah, and was winning the bike probably.
Yeah.
And did the extra lap probably because she was so far ahead of the other girls on the bike. They were probably you know what I mean? Like they were.
I don't know. I don't understand how you do an extra lap. Was it like a full lap or a mini lap, or did she go into this?
She said it was
lap?
like 8K, and that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a full lap around the entire racetrack. So part of the race bike course is around this race car track. So that sounds about right.
There's a turn that they don't mark for the sprint before the full. So there may have been something about
so
those.
She was so far ahead that she didn't notice it or something.
And then apparently she was so far behind after.
Yeah, that she only got fourth. But the difference, I was going to look that up before we did this. The difference between third and fourth was thousands and thousands of dollars.
Really bad. Yeah. Prize money was changed this year.
Right.
And that was quite a problem with the pros because they changed it very close to the race. And they used to pay 10 deep, I believe. And then they went to paying 5 deep. But not only was it 5 deep, it was like, what was the win? Like 25,000 for the win? And then it was like 15,000, 10,000, 2,000. It cut off very steeply.
Yeah.
And if you notice, their pro field basically took a ginormous hit.
Right. So there's a little bit of, the pro needs to know the course. She should have known that there was only 3 laps and not 4. And
she probably knew that, but that it was more of like a like a signage. Like she was not quite sure exactly where she should turn.
Yeah. I have faith that Jody knew that there was 3 laps and that there's something else through her
Yeah,
in that.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that can be really frustrating.
Really frustrating. And these pros, they are going so fast.
Yeah.
And their positions are so arrow. It's not adventure racing, right?
They're looking at their front tire and that's about it.
And that's it. The road right in front. And I do think that courses need to be extra clear with those front groups. You hear about that more often than not, people being led astray. And it's always the front women or the front men.
Yeah, and then another female, I think she was one of the top 3, someone stole her bike computer off of her handlebars before the race, and she had to ride totally by feel.
Wow. At Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is not cool.
Let's see. So there's that.
Yeah.
And let's see, which story should we do next? What do we have? We have you got USAT national ranking of first in your age group.
I did this year, and
so awesome.
I got the new Ironman rankings that came out.
Uh-huh.
I got the number 1 in my age group there.
Yeah, because Ironman does rankings too.
Yeah, they just started this past year with a nation.
So how many races did you do last year?
That were Ironman branded. I did 7.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did 3 fulls last year.
Holy cow. So how many hours a week do you train?
Maybe like 20.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd say on average about 20.
And let's see, I'm working on a theory with training. Do you do like one like big day a week and then everything else short, or do you do kind of all medium or what?
I would say I do all medium. Maybe like 5 days a week medium and 2 days a week low.
So what's medium to you and what's low?
I'd say medium to me is like 3K swim, 50-mile ride, and 30-minute run.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So like a couple hours?
Yeah, like 4 hours, 3 to 4.
Yeah, I was being facetious, sarcastic.
Dang it!
You missed it.
Hard to realize.
Sheldon.
I'm not good at that.
Okay, so then a couple hours for you. I let people name distances. I was like, it's got to be great to be a pro and then go by distance, right? Because Chrissy Wellington, it's like, I never do more than a 3-hour ride was her thing.
Yeah, unfortunately,
and I'm like, it's like 100 miles.
Right, exactly. She rides
500-mile ride for her. Okay, so let's see.
Can we talk about the real Starkowitz thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think it's really funny. Do you follow the real Starkey on Twitter?
I do, but mostly by accident because other pros retweet him because they love what he says.
What he says, yeah.
Yes, because he's saying what they can't say.
Right. And so today, apparently, like, people have wondered who's really behind this parody account. And today, I don't know how he managed it, but he got a whole bunch of pros and different people today to say that they are the real Starkey.
Right.
So I started seeing this on Twitter. I saw people being like, I'm the real Starkey. And I was like, really? And then I'd see somebody be like, I am not the real Starkey. And I was like, okay, this is weird. We finally had to go look it up. And apparently it was like a well-orchestrated thing on behalf of the real Starkey, which I think is pretty impressive, being that no one actually knows who it is.
Do you think that I don't think that it's an actual pro.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think it's a top pro. I think it's a like a really smart age grouper.
Age grouper. Someone who's like in the industry.
Yeah, industry. They know.
Yeah, and just has a really good sense of humor, dry sense of humor.
Yeah, I think pros are too involved in the game to want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in it. They're in it too much. I think somebody outside of it, sitting there, can do that.
I think so too. I think the pros, like, they're a lot more. Yeah. They're not really worried about where the sport is going or what sort of party fouls people are making via Twitter. Like, they're so concerned with their performance and their own world.
Exactly. I think it's great. It's so cool because you can actually get a really good feel for what's going on in the industry based on that guy or girl, whatever it is that's doing this. Yeah.
I do the kind of, I don't know, interesting, like my one little beef with it, and I'm sure I'm just going to get this like, oh, you have no sense of humor, or no sense of sarcasm, but
Yeah.
sometimes I think like it's awfully judgmental. Like there's a lot of, I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, that's an unfollow, like that tweet you put out there's an unfollow from the real Starkey, and I'm like, like we could all stand to take a few deep breaths here.
Yeah.
So, at times I feel like we don't have to be so judgmental about people who are just excited to be swimming and biking and running and doing well. Like, yeah, you posted a selfie of yourself on the trainer. Like, good, you go. I'm more of the like, good on you. The world needs more acceptance of this stuff rather than judgment. But I get that it's sarcasm and it's funny and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm reading like some of the tweets. Somebody said the real Starkey really isn't that funny anymore, and he wrote back in all caps, "That's no way to talk to your father." It's just great.
It's great stuff. Yeah.
And it's so much like the real Starkowitz, where he like yells and like. That's just my. I don't know the real Starkey.
Oh.
I don't know him very well. But his public impersonation is that he's like this.
Like he's a piece of work.
Yeah. Like, man, he's a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
But then I've seen other interviews with him where he's like just totally mellow and cool and like it's blown out of proportion and stuff. So
I saw the interview before Rev 3 took it down where he was being interviewed at, I think really when all the kind of Starkowitz stuff really blew up was that interview he did with Rev 3.
Yeah.
And I laughed. Have you raced Rev 3 events, Brett?
I have not done one yet. No.
Okay. They're pretty like family friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the people who work for Rev 3 are really fun and chill and just like good people. And
yeah.
Guy doing the interview, Simply Stu, right, on Twitter.
I know Stu, yeah.
Stu, okay. So then you know that you pretty much like cannot be mean to Stu. It's like if you were mean to Stu, it would be like kicking Puppy.
Yeah,
right?
I know, right? Yeah, he's super nice. Yeah.
Super nice. And here's like Andrew Starkowitz.
I tried getting angry at him one time and I couldn't do it.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Andrew could. He basically got mad at Stu and was kind of yelling at Stu and being like, people always ask me that question. Like, why do you ask me that question? I'm not
no way. To Stu?
To Stu. And that was
you can't do
I
that.
was like, oh, you're a jerk. Like that did it for me. Like, you don't kick a puppy, you don't kick a puppy.
Stu, I remember like the complaint about his podcast is that he's too happy and too nice. Like,
yes, and he is that way in real life, and he has like all these kids, and he's just
he's
the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
It's like, no, not Stu. So after that, I kind of understood, the beef against the guy, because it's like, he's a puppy kicker.
A puppy kicker.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got here, too? Dave Scott. This is a little bit old. Dave Scott thinks Lance should be allowed to race in Kona. And people are pissed.
People are mad. Really mad.
Yeah. Now, see, I don't think that Lance should be allowed to race triathlon.
Me neither.
But I'm not going to get myself too worked up about it. But I don't think so because I think the benefits of doping are huge, and I don't want to compete against that. So, and in Lance's case, they last his entire life because of the money he made from the effects from doping allows him the best equipment, the best training, the best everything. And now I'm supposed to compete against a multimillionaire who got all that money from doping, from winning through doping. And now he has endless resources in coaching and bikes and equipment and training and all this stuff. And now I've got to compete against that? No thanks.
I bet that benefit's bigger than the doping benefit or the residual doping benefit.
Yeah, he gets this Learjet on the airport runway of the race course that we're going to race on. And then, I'm like, no, this is a little much. But that's just my opinion. So,
are we so desperate for publicity that we'll take crappy publicity? Yeah. Are we so desperate for publicity that we'll,
right?
That guy?
Yeah. So when I read the article, like Dave Scott's comments, I was kind of like, I kind of understood what Dave Scott was saying. He's like, it'll get more money for our pros, and we need to take, the publicity will get more money in the sport, and then that'll help pay our pros who don't make enough money, right? And I'm like, okay, I could see that logic. And then I was listening to I Am Talk, which is out of New Zealand, and they were like, the ex-pro that's on the show said, no, we need to invest in our pros, and find the next Lance, not use a doper's
use a
fame.
Let's try to dredge some more funds out of.
Yeah, let's develop our next Lance from within, and make a hero for everybody out of this sport. And I was like, yeah, I like that even better.
I'm a little confused as to what, and I'm not trying to say anything about Dave Scott, but what kind of athlete wants to race a known doper?
That's Macca. And then
says to someone,
that was Macca.
So what does that say? To me, little sketchy there.
Well, Macca was saying that he wanted to race him, and I think Macca has such. I love Macca actually, but Macca, one of the things I like about him is his ego is just so outrageous.
Large.
Yeah, so I think it's just funny, It's like cool to watch. But he's also he just tells the truth, and he's nice when he needs to be.
Yeah.
So
do you think if Macca knew the extent to the disadvantage that he would have because of performance enhancing drugs, if Macca himself was racing clean, does Macca really understand the extent that you want to race him, but if he's fully doped and loaded, you're not going to win. You're not going to be in the same ballpark.
Remember, Macca was part of the things he was saying was racing Lance. He's like, yeah, I want to race Lance. I think his ego was like clouding his vision, his judgment. Yeah. He's like, I am the best in the world.
Yeah. Right. I know.
So I'll race him. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You're saying a lot right there.
But then what happens when you get beat? And then we all know he's a doper. Where do we go from there? How do you make sense of that? Well, I don't know. Or does he know it's an...
Well, I think you can always just say, I didn't have a good day.
Yeah, right.
Which Macca does a lot, right? He's like, he'd drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's not doing well, he just drops out and says, I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
So I think you can already calculate a way out of it. Right from the start.
Boy, so then really it's like a win-win, to some extent. There's no...
If you look at it the right way, you could engineer it into a win-win, right?
Yeah.
If you're half crazy and the other half insane.
Yep. Which
Macca is.
Sort of.
Yeah. Let's see.
And coaching Caroline Steffen now. Did you see that?
Oh, yes. Okay, well, I wanted to talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about it, because she's here in Ironman Melbourne.
Oh.
She's here, so
This is awesome. Angela's going to race Steffen?
Yes.
This is great.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to this race.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
This is going to be so good. Okay, so Macca puts out a podcast. And it's actually really, really good because that thing where he tells it how it is.
Yeah, I do like that.
It's really cool because you get to see the inside of the sport. He talks about people and how they train and what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, right? And I thought it was so fascinating. He said that with Caroline Steffen, that one of the things is that he wants to fix with her is her cadence is too low on the bike. And that's why she doesn't run very well off the bike.
Interesting.
That in one of her recent races, she had a cadence of 70 something. He's like, that's too low.
Wow.
It's just too low. Yeah. And now who knows? Maybe she kind of blew up and she was just kind of soft pedaling around because she already knew she wasn't gonna, run well. That's what I would do. I would just be like, nah. So I don't know. I don't know the full story behind that, but so.
If she's pushing a really big gear, she could have just really just sort of slowed down and loaded her legs.
Yeah. So if she was actually doing that low of a cadence, that blasts your legs off, so you can't run.
Yeah.
So I like it that he's going to be coaching her, because I think that'll be really interesting to follow, like what he tries to change. How much can you change somebody that's at that level already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's really been a student of the sport.
Yeah.
You know, all these years when he's had his own downfalls, he's really tried to fix it with education and trying to learn and progress from an education point of view in the sport. So I
Did you see
know,
his quote? He goes, "I have a PhD in triathlon."
yeah, that's how, I mean, I really feel like
Yeah.
more than most, he has really done the research and looked into so many different things that maybe some other athletes that had less strife through their careers in the
Yeah.
sport didn't really have to delve that deep into those sides of things.
Yeah. On his podcast, when he talks about an athlete, he'll talk about them from head to toe.
Uh,
That they have this mental view of the sport, that they have this physical ability, that they have this, their training is off or that it's right. Like he analyzes the heck out of everything.
yeah,
It's really fascinating to see how his take on the sport is so calculated. And also, the gamemanship, he views that as a lot of the sport too.
yeah.
How to
Pretty
psych
cool.
yourself up and what that does to you and how physically, mentally things can wear you down and like the competition and all that. It's fascinating. So,
Well, I will be watching. I'll watch and kind of see if I see anything different with her, or whether she's trying to psych anyone out.
it's like, she'll psych me out just standing next to her.
Yeah.
Like, holy
See,
crap.
it's already working.
Yeah, it already works. She's awesome. So let's see. Do we have anything else?
Phil's going on tour.
Oh, Phil Maffetone.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't really know what that means. I think I
going
think
on
what it means,
speaking.
he's like opened up himself for you to like book him
Uh-huh.
to come talk. I would like to see him talk.
Yeah.
Have you seen him?
No, we just did that. We did an interview with him.
Oh yeah,
And
that's right.
it went long and it was great. I felt like I was talking to somebody that was so confident in what they had done, that they were so casual and they didn't feel the need to really convince you of anything.
Yoda.
Yeah, it was like, well, if you do this, then this will happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what about this? And then he'll say, well, if you do that, then this will happen. Like, well, what about that? And he'll say, no, that doesn't really matter. I'm like, what about this? And he's like, yeah, that matters a lot.
And hence the 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, and so no need to like really to convince you,
Yeah.
I mean, he coached
No.
Mark Allen. That's all the convincing you need.
Right?
Yeah, it worked. It worked really well.
And he works with Angela too.
I know. Angela's so lucky. That's so cool.
She's got the Mark Allen Phil Maffetone duo.
So, on Angela's case, how many calories per hour does she try to get in, or
About 300.
about 300?
I think Phil wants her to do less.
Less?
I think so.
Golly. So on my last podcast that I just put out the other day, just a couple of days ago, I interviewed QT2 Systems, Jesse Kropelnicki, and he's a coach that tries to cram calories down people.
Yes, he does. Yep.
To have them run better, so they're fueled. Totally different. And I think it's valid, but it's a different approach.
It is, and has to be trained, if I'm
Yeah.
correct in understanding his approach.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously successful. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Any other news?
I don't know. I don't want to keep you from your. What are you going to do today?
I've got a track session to go run, and then I'm going to go do a real big swim.
Oh, nice. So, how? Let's say you're training for an Ironman,
Okay.
and you're a few weeks out, so you're kind of peaking in your training. Do you do a lot of intensity, or are you just doing like all volume, or
Yep.
what?
Volume. Until you've sort of plateaued out with volume, which it's pretty hard to do. It takes a long time. Getting up and going through the motions day in and day out is what's paid off for me through the long.
And then you hold back during the session so you don't push too hard. So
I warm up and I see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling good, I push, but never too much over a little faster than Ironman pace. Never much past that, and only in a way I can sustain and fuel and feel good, through and be able to run off well. But yeah, nothing flashy, you know?
And then how many calories per hour are you doing?
I would say when I'm training, say I eat about 200 in food and another about 90 in liquid.
Yeah.
So about around 300. If I'm hungry though, if I have hungry tummy, then I'll be up in the more like 350 range,
Yeah.
400 range. Just depends like how much of a breakfast I got out with or how hungry my tummy is. I kind of eat.
You're
I kind of
flexible.
always make sure I get 1 hour, but then if I'm more hungry, I'll just start bumping that up sooner.
Cool. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, just listen to your body. It's really about that. There's so much information out there, but the science experiment has to be done with you because people are individual.
Right. At some point, you got to use you and a stopwatch and how you feel, and then
Yeah, and
go with
not
what
be
works.
afraid to follow your own intuition.
Yeah.
Because that can be very strong. And I think a lot of people ignore their own intuition for what they think other people have told them works. But really, that's just a factor of what other people's intuition has led them to.
Yeah. Yeah. They're preaching their own intuition results.
Exactly.
Like it's a rule for everybody, and it's
Like
not.
it's a rule for everybody. Yeah. Yep. So that can be a really good starting place, listening to someone that you really trust, and start there. But I really think that that can only be a starting place. You then need to apply it and then look at how it worked and then try to tweak it and move from there.
And that is excellent training advice from the person holding first place in both USAT and Ironman age group rankings. So listen.
Yep. There we go.
Listen, everybody. It works. Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you go.
Thank you.
And y'all have a good time down there.
I know,
in
right?
Australia. Wish Angela the best of luck.
Yeah.
And
she doesn't need it.
She is going to rock it. I can't wait to watch.
I know. It'll be fun.
And wow, this is going to be super, super cool.
Yeah,
So
I'll try to.
Best of luck, first competitive Ironman.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much, Sonia. And if you enjoy having Sonia on the podcast, make sure you let her know on Twitter. She's GoSonja, SONJA on Twitter. So you can find her over there. And let's see, the news is brought to you by AmritaHealthFoods.com. And if you go there, you can get Amrita bars for, what's the discount? I think like 10 or 15% off with discount code ZEN, capital letters ZEN. Make sure you go there. Amrita bars are critical to my nutrition and a whole lot of other people I know that are really, really, really in the triathlon and do really well. So, we almost scored. So, there's all that, and let's go ahead and get started with the interview with Ben Greenfield. He's got a book coming out, lots of cool stuff. He's a really laid-back, mellow guy, starting to get into Spartan racing, I think. So let's go ahead and check this out. Here we go. All right, we have with us Ben Greenfield. How's it going, man?
It's going awesome, Brad. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just got off the treadmill, just hammering out a 1 hour run.
I personally do not want to see a treadmill for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I ran for 3 hours on a treadmill, staring at a blank white wall.
Oh, why?
On Friday. I was over at University of Connecticut in a laboratory study by Dr. Jeff Volek over there. He's the guy that wrote the Art and Science of Low Carb Performance.
Right.
And he runs one of the top human performance labs in the country. And They flew 10 high fat and 10 high carb endurance athletes out there. And they fed the high carb athletes for 6 months a high carb diet. They fed the high fat athletes for 6 months a high fat diet. And then they brought us in and they jammed needles into our thighs and took out like hundreds of milligrams of muscle tissue to test muscle glycogen, and they did like fat biopsies on the butt, and then blood draws and VO2 measurements and gas measurements, and then to put the icing on the cake, they had us run on the freaking treadmill for 3 hours. I was hoping there might be like a plasma screen TV or something, but no dice.
When was this? When was the
This
running?
was 4 days ago.
Oh my God. I can't believe I didn't catch that. I follow you on Twitter and I didn't see that part. I didn't do much tweeting from the treadmill. Well, did they what was the reasoning behind nothing to watch or nothing to see on the treadmill? Was there a purpose behind that, or that's just the lab setup?
No. Oh, that was just like, it was just like one of the, I don't know if you've been to like an exercise phys lab before, but it's kind of like,
they're kind of
there's
plain,
like
I guess.
Airdyne and, like a lat pull down machine hooked up to a power plate and like it's very bare bones. And I don't think there are a lot of studies. If you look at most studies on endurance athletes, they're 5K runs or they're like 10K bikes or like like if you look at, for example, that study that was done showing that multivitamins, or I think it was antioxidants, aren't effective for endurance athletes.
Yeah.
The endurance athletes, quote unquote endurance athletes, were doing like 4 times a week a 60-minute bike ride. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, endurance is all relative, but I mean, for an Ironman triathlete, that's like,
nothing.
It's nothing. And so, in retrospect, I should have loaded up my Kindle with movies and all that jazz. But even then, it's kind of hard to like look over the top of the mask that you're wearing, because like for a lot of the run, you're wearing this mask that's like bouncing up and down in front of you. So, So yeah.
Oh man.
No treadmills for me for a while.
Dreadmill in your case. Yeah. So let's talk about the book, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's Beyond Training, and people go check it out at beyondtrainingbook.com, right?
Yeah.
And the subtitle is Mastering Endurance, Health, and Life. So this is bigger than triathlon. This is a whole lot bigger than that.
It's a big book. It's like 540 pages long.
Oh, wow.
My publisher called me up. He's like, this is a weapon. I'm like, or a very heavy paperweight. Yeah. But yeah, it wraps in a lifestyle and time management and family management strategies. It wraps in biohacking strategies to minimize the amount of time that you need to train. It wraps in like recovery and self-quantification and how to really keep a finger on the pulse of exactly what kind of training you should do on any given day, given your recovery status. Go into a lot of like underground training tactics like hypoxic training and isometric training and cold thermogenesis, and some of these ways you can kind of hack your way into improved mitochondrial density and fat oxidation and some of these other things that come in really handy for endurance athletes. A big part of it is on nutrition and kind of how vegans can tweak their diet, and old people and young people and women, and kind of like different routes to go, whether you're an omnivore or whether you're going to eat plants. And just kind of cover the gamut of being not just healthy on the outside and fit on the outside, but also healthy and fit on the inside, and kind of getting all your ducks in a row from life to endurance to health. And so it's kind of a synopsis of about 10 years of, just time spent in the trenches, kind of learning this stuff. So I wanted to write a book to bring it all together.
Wow, man.
Well, actually, it comes with, so far there's 9 hidden chapters online, and multiple videos and a bunch of extras that come with it. So once you put it all together, it's close to like 700 pages.
Yeah, videos are nice, and it's so cool nowadays that you can add in stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to do, and I'm going to keep adding stuff too. Like anybody that buys the book, like you get username and password access to the hidden chapter page online, and I'm just going to keep adding stuff probably about once a month or so, just because I really want to. That's the cool thing these days is you can even buy like a hard copy book, and as long as you've got the password to access the stuff online, like keep getting updated.
But you know what? This kind of book is the kind like Maffetone's big book, right? So this is the kind that you would keep on your coffee table or in your library. You would actually buy a hard copy of this one so that you would have it as a reference.
Use it in your gym to lift weights.
Put it under the front wheel of your bike, and then open it up every once in a while. I have a How to Raise a Baby kind of book, whichever one it was, under the front wheel of my bike right now.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I usually go with magazines under the front wheel of the bike.
Yeah. So you've got on the webpage, you have a big list of things that are in the book. Let's see. Endurance without destroying your body. That's a very good one. And your underground tactics, best biohacks for mental performance and getting into the zone. And let's see, how to know with laser-like accuracy whether you have been truly recovered. Yeah, the heart rate. Are you talking about the heart rate variability testing?
To know if you're recovered?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use heart rate variability testing to test whether you should do intensity on any given day or volume on any given day, depending on which part of your nervous system is most kind of beat up.
Right.
But, I think I've talked about that a lot in podcasts before. I think we even talked about it the last time I was on your podcast.
Probably.
But there are other things that you can do. I mean, you can keep a pulse oximeter, which you can get at the drugstore next to your bedstand. And if you wake up and your pulse ox is below 95%, that's a 10-second measurement. It's a pretty good sign that you may want to head to the yoga studio and have a big steak that night rather than, beat yourself up with like a hardcore high intensity interval session.
Yeah.
Or what's another example I could give you from easy ways to track recovery? About 4 times a year, I recommend most folks just head over to like a wholesale testing website, like Direct Labs, for example, and get yourself an adrenal stress index. It's known as an ASI. This thing flies under the radar, but if you open up any biochemistry textbook devoted to physiology of sport or, anything like the old Russian bloc way that they would track their athletes, cortisol and DHEA are 2 hormones that allow you to get a very, very good look at whether or not you are adrenally fatigued or overtrained or kind of what stage of fatigue that you're in. And an adrenal stress index involves you simply getting these little tubes mailed to your house, and they're salivary measurements. So it means you got to get yourself to drip saliva into a tube. My trick is I smell a jar of peanut butter.
That's better than other kind of things you have to put out.
Yeah, it's better. It's better than like pooping in a pan. Yeah. And then you send it off, and you do different measurements throughout the day. So a lot of tests, like you'll just do like a blood cortisol measurement, and that'll give you something. But those kind of measurements are usually like a one-off, right? It's like a snapshot of your cortisol values. But this is like a running graph. So you get 24 hours of graph, and the only sucky part about the test is you do have to get up at midnight for one of the cortisol measurements, so it's kind of annoying. But then you send this test off, and really, really good way to keep track of kind of how you're doing from a fatigue perspective, or even people who, I know a lot of people wonder, they're like, am I overtrained? Am I adrenal fatigued? Like, is this something I need to worry about? Am I normal? Should I be feeling sleepy? Is this just me not getting enough sleep last night? Or do I have this adrenal fatigue thing everybody's talking about? Like that adrenal stress index, super easy to get. If you go through a wholesaler, I mean, you can get it for like $100, $150. And just as a one-off, it's, and then you submit that to your insurance and they'll cover a lot of it too. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I talk about in the book to kind of, keep your finger on the pulse of your recovery.
That's a big deal because there's a lot of people I've worked with and trained with. And myself too, right? It's really hard to tell why you're tired. There's so many factors in there, and if it's adrenal, if it's hormonal, then you need to know that. That's different. That's a whole nother, ball of wax.
And I mean, let's say you just want to go with like the simplest measurement possible. You could just use resting heart rate. The problem with that is everybody's like, oh, if your resting heart rate is high, that's a sign that you shouldn't go out and train that day. Like, whatever. If your resting heart rate is normally 40 and you wake up one morning and it's like 45 and it's high again the next morning, I mean, that is a pretty decent sign that you are overtrained, but it's a sign that you are overtrained with intensity.
Right.
It's not a sign if you're overtrained with volume. Like a lot of people, they'll wake up and they were at like 40 one day and then they're at 38 and 37 and 36 and they're like, I'm getting more fit, whatever. My heart stroke volume and blood volume is increasing, so I got to pump less times per minute. That's sometimes the case if you're in the process of getting fit, but for most people that are already fit, that's a sign that you've done too much aerobic volume, and your parasympathetic nervous system is basically just like pooped out, and your heart rate's going way down. So
yeah.
I mean, that's a very simple measurement you can do.
Yeah, you're right. It is very complicated with intensity versus volume, what it does to you. So let's see. Well, what was the process like of getting the book published? This is a hardback that's available in stores right now, right? Or
in real stores, like
I love that.
Go to Costco and buy it.
It's for real.
Yeah. It's for real. So I've done self-publishing before, which is really like working with a publisher is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Because you write the book. I'm just going to come right out there and say it. I'm not one of those 7-figure advanced kind of authors. I'm not Dr. Oz. I'm not like, pittance for an advance. And I get a little bit of a royalty. The reason I went with a publisher is because there's 2 ways to get into bookstores. Basically, you can get published by a publisher, or you can, and this is the method that some of the wealthier authors use now, you can basically buy space on any of the big, whatever it is now, the big 5 or the big 6 publishing companies' trucks and get access to the stores that way. And that's like a 7-figure, process to do something like that. So you got to be loaded. The reason I'm with a publisher was because I wanted to get this book into the hands of a lot of people. And although I can make more money self-publishing a book because it's 100% royalty, unless I self-publish and put it on Amazon. And even with Amazon, it's a pretty high royalty. You can get as high as 70% royalty on Amazon. Yeah. I wanted to really get this book out there in as many channels as possible and use it to spread the message that many of us are exercising the wrong way. We are training the wrong way. We are neglecting our families and friends and social lives and careers in many cases to be the rat on the wheel, be the person running for 3 hours on a treadmill in a lab. I don't do that all the time. That was for the sake of science. But to really train people that you can achieve amazing feats of physical performance without destroying your body, without destroying your mind, without neglecting your family, and you can have fun doing it. And this is almost like a cookbook for how to do it. But the process of getting published, I mean, you submit your manuscript and things fly back and forth, and it was just a god-awful process editing these, hundreds and hundreds of pages over and over and over again. And every single graph had to be analyzed. Is this copywritten? Is that copywritten? And go to get permission from certain people. And scientific.
They're very thorough, right?
Hundreds and hundreds of scientific references that we had to pour over. And I mean, big process. So yeah, I mean, I understand what some authors have told me in the health space who say one of the least healthy things that they did was publish a book on health, which is ironic. So I've avoided the book tour, getting on an airplane, flying all over the place. Most of the way I've spread the word about this book is blogs, guest posts, and coming on podcasts like yours,
from your experience.
Yeah, and there are other little things I've done. Like I did a torrent, I put out a BitTorrent, with a bunch of free content from the book. Yeah. Actually, I can tell you the address for it if you want. Yeah, if your listeners want. Yeah. It's at bengreenfieldfitness.com/torrent. Okay. And it's just like some free videos, some hidden chapters that aren't released in other spots, just a bunch of kind of free stuff that gives you a taste of the book. Yeah. But it's not just stuff that's in the book that I copied and pasted and put in a torrent. It's stuff I wrote and created and designed specifically for the torrent. So there's 8 different things that you get to download. But and something like that, when I put that out on BitTorrent, a bunch of people download it, and because it's just free and people like to download free crap. And so then, that drives traffic to the book site and, stuff like that. So a lot of online stuff. So I can sit at home in my underwear and play with my kids and, ride my bike and not spend a ton of time in a metal tube 40,000 feet above the planet. Yeah. I do not like I fly a lot, but I don't like airplanes. They're not healthy.
Yeah, that's actually pretty true. I got a question for you. I don't know why I started thinking about this, but who would you want to spend a day training with more than anybody else? And I know that's coming out of nowhere, but it just popped in my mind, and I thought that's a really good question to ask somebody.
Do you mean like an endurance athlete, or just
Well, okay, let's do an endurance and then just anybody.
Okay. So if it was going to be an endurance athlete, I would say Wim Hof, the Iceman, the guy who did like the marathon out Mount Everest wearing a pair of shorts. The guy who does like
a high altitude lake.
2 hours immersed in ice, swims in lakes. Like that's actually I'm trying to arrange right now. He's coming on my podcast, and I'm trying to arrange like meeting up with him. Like I don't care. Like I'll go to Iceland or whatever. I just think I want to see how he does it. I want him to teach me how he taps into his mental power to just like totally ignore the environment and just like go into beast mode, because it's this combination of Zen meditation and breathology and being able to consciously direct blood flow to certain areas of your body, which should come in handy in other situations too, incidentally. And just like defy the environment and really like overcome Mother Nature almost. I just think it is very cool.
Yeah, I've read a couple of articles on that guy. That is just it's
the
crazy.
Iceman.
Yeah.
So that's who I would do, and I consider him to be an endurance athlete. Like he did a marathon. I think it was the Sahara Desert. It may not have been the Sahara Desert, but it was a desert. He did a marathon in the desert, no water, the whole marathon. And he just does stuff like this where it's just mind over muscle. So I think that's really cool, and I think he'd be a really interesting guy to just like tap into his whole, secret method. So, and then if I had to choose a non-endurance athlete, that's easy. Rocky Balboa. I know he's a movie, but just like, him dragging the sled through the Siberian wilderness and, like doing sit-ups hanging from the rafters, just like that's my idea of a fun day of training right there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Okay, so that's let's see, what are you doing now after the book's published? You're not going to go on a nationwide tour. You're going to do podcasts, vlogs, and what else?
I want to race as a professional racer in Spartan events, and that's what I'm training for.
No way! Are you serious?
Yep, I'm dead serious. I've already raced a few as an elite.
Yeah,
I'm building an obstacle course up on my land with tire flips and chain drags and rope climbs and obstacle walls and traverse walls and sandbag carries. I love the style of training. It's like I'm still racing for Team Timex as one of their triathletes, and I'm still doing triathlon, but I think that, like the number one guy right now in Spartan is 36 years old. It's a combination of running and strength and kind of like a willingness to really get into harsh environments.
Yeah,
and
that's perfect.
I like the nature of it. Yeah. And frankly, as an ex-bodybuilder, ex-collegiate tennis player, a guy who's kind of always liked to lift heavy stuff, like I would have to give a lot of that up to get really good at triathlon.
Yeah.
And even though I have all the tools at my disposal as a sponsored athlete with Timex, like that basically means I can get anything, wheels, the best bike, whatever. Like I just don't have that internal drive to put in the hours and the training and the amount of aerobic exercise and everything necessary to be a really good professional triathlete.
Yeah.
But I've just kind of created this goal of wanting to race as like a top level elite Spartan athlete. And so I'm actually going through a process in my business right now to kind of, open the kimono or whatever. Like I'm backing off on a lot of stuff. I'm hiring a lot of kind of like managers. I'm backing out of I can't say which ones, but I'm literally just like totally backing out and dropping some of the businesses that I'm running and kind of just like making life a little bit more simple.
Yeah. Just
so I can go and, get my hands dirty and get out there and train and even spend a little bit more time with my kids. And, so yeah, there's that and doing that. And, then the other thing that I'm doing is really focusing hardcore on my guitar practice. And, one of my other goals is to start recording and basically putting out some music just for fun. But I love music, and it's something that I've kind of left over the past few years working so much in the online sector. So I feel like I'm talking about myself a lot now, like on a couch or something. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's next.
Quite a few years ago, a friend and I at work started a virtual death metal band, and because he could play bass and lead, and I can play rhythm and solo a little bit on electric. And I grew up playing like Led Zeppelin and Hendrix and stuff like that, and Metallica, you know.
Nice.
And so we got, you know, a virtual drum machine, and my friend used to be in a band that was on tour, and he was a bass player in the band that was on tour, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And we called ourselves Death Chatter, and created some songs. You know, they were horrible, but it was so much fun, man. And then we would play them on my podcast. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we've got a little following going.
I was in a let me see if I could find it. I was in a like a rock band here about 3 years ago. We toured a lot of local Spokane bars. Here you go. Let me see if you can hear this. I'll open it. Let's see if it actually plays here. Just a second. It's opening up the video. This is good podcasting right here.
Oh, it is, yeah.
The awkward silence.
You can actually hear people leaving the station.
Yeah. Anyways, while that's
going up. Okay, so what's a Spartan course? There's different lengths, right? Is there a professional length that you have to do?
The elite start at a certain time, like they start before everybody else, and sometimes their obstacles are more difficult.
Yeah.
The pace is faster, stuff like that. But you know, like I did, they've got a sprint, which is typically 4 miles with 3 to 4 miles with a handful of obstacles. They have a super Spartan, which is anywhere from 8 to 9 miles with 20 plus obstacles. They've got a beast, which is 12 to 14 miles with 30 plus obstacles. And then they've got a death race, which is a marathon with, you know, tons and tons, dozens and dozens of obstacles.
Right.
So obstacles would include everything from barbed wire crawls to rope climbs to, you know, climbing up walls that are, you know, soaped and greased to, you know, really heavy tire flips to carrying, you know, buckets full of sand up the side of a ski slope. I mean, like, just a ton of things, like a combination of strength and endurance and kind of gutsiness. So, but they're pretty fun, and like they, you know, kind of like triathlons, like they've got kids events and they've got. Totally, yeah. You know, it's kind of a fun little way to kind of like a fresh change from triathlon in a way.
Yeah. But then you can use your triathlon endurance knowledge of how to train for a marathon.
Yep.
Far better than probably a lot of people can.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's like, you know, like even if you're running like, you know, like the last one, you know, it was 8 miles a run, but I mean, like every half mile you're stopping and just like doing something epic, and then continuing on, so you're just toast when you cross the finish line. You're covered in barbed wire punctures and gravel scrapes and, you know, dirt in your teeth, but it's fun. Here you go. Okay. See if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
Yeah, that's good.
And we played at like races and stuff too. Anyways.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Good job.
So, anyways, I'm a bigger fan of like John Mayer and Ben Harper and Jack Johnson and stuff like that than I am that type of music, and a little bit of country here and there. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you gotta, when you're in a band, you kind of got to go with whatever they're doing.
Exactly. It was just an outlet, catharsis.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. So the book is Beyond Training. It's a real book with a real publisher. Congratulations, man.
And I'm a real boy.
You're a real boy. Yeah, I'm working with Tawny on publishing a book, an ebook.
Oh, nice. Nice.
The Surfer's Guide to Triathlon.
Endurance Planets, Tawny.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're trying to get it done, man. It's hard work because we're both doing all this crazy stuff. So
yeah, exactly. Well, once you guys push it out, I mean, let me know if I can help with anything too.
That would be great. Yeah.
Ebook publishing.
We've got the all the chapters outlined, and the and now it's just knocking out the chapters. And actually, a couple of them already written, I think. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Endurance Planet actually publishes too.
Oh,
They
cool.
do. They've got a publishing arm and put out, like, kind of do all the work, the cover design, the layout, the Kindle publishing, all that jazz, and then pay the author royalty. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah.
She probably knows all that.
Yeah, probably.
And that's why she's like, come on, let's go.
Yeah,
So, well, all right, man. Well,
cool.
come back on the show anytime.
Would love to.
Fill us in on what's going on with the Spartan stuff. A lot of people are starting to do that, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I'll publish a post sometime over at bengreenfieldfitness.com about what shook up with that whole fat oxidation treadmill test too. So
Yeah, I want to check that out. Cool. All right.
sweet.
Well, thanks, Ben.
All right. Thanks, Brett.
All right, thanks, Ben. Oh, what's going on? Offsides. Thanks, Ben. And I think he's going out for some kind of next biggest trainer contest or something like that. So good luck to him. That's got to be tough stuff to try to figure out how to be successful at. The interview with Ben is brought to you by the Mountain Madness half Iron distance. And that's the one that's in northern Georgia that I've been talking about, that they actually have a king and queen of the mountain, because there's really extreme climbing in the race. And let's see, it's Sunday, May 4th. It's a half iron distance. And again, it's in northern Georgia. And let's see, what do we have? Zone5events.com. Definitely want to go check that out. It's a very, very challenging half. In fact, they say they're going out of their way to make it as challenging as possible. So if you're done going as fast as you can on as flat as you can courses and just trying to get PRs, do this sucker. And like I've said before, I've grown up in that part of the country, and it is beautiful. You definitely want to go and do this race. Okay? Go check them out, Zone 5 Events, 5 the number 5, events.com. Go sign up, and then also tell them that Brett from ZenTri sent you. All right, we have a few donors. Weston Tanner is a regular donor, and you can do that by going to zentriathlon.com and then looking for on the, I think it's the left side of the page, you scroll down. There's a place where you can donate to the show to help support the show, which is what helps pay for the bandwidth and all the other costs with the show. And then there's a way that you can do a one-time donation. All right, I'm back. I had a little technical difficulty there. I thought I was recording, and then something happened, and it killed off the recording mode. So anyway, it's now Sunday afternoon. I'm driving through my neighborhood on the way to the pool, and there's little kids riding bikes with their parents behind them. Pretty cool, man. All right, and lots has gone down. I'll get back to the donation things in a minute. Lots has gone down since Saturday morning. We took Kai to the Pinewood Derby. He won his soccer game, and then we took Kai to the Pinewood Derby, and his car got fourth. Oh, squirrel moment. What is that, a 57 Chevy? His Kai got fourth out of probably 30 cars, which has to do with weight and aerodynamics and stuff. It's Cub Scout Pinewood Derby cars are so often not about the kid building the car. It's about the dads and what kind of tricks and engineering they use to make the cars win. And then everybody just sits there and pretends like the kid built the car. The kid that won the overall race won everything. Looked like he was about 7 years old. So anyway, then I went for a nice bike ride, and I did something a little bit different. I'd taken a few days kind of easy, hoping that my energy would come back. And while I was paddling on my 2-hour bike ride, after about half an hour into it, I said, let's quit focusing on the quads and let's focus on the hamstrings, the back and the calves, the back sides of the legs. And bam, my power went from, it went 20 watts higher, let's say 20 to 30 watts higher. Well, 20 watts yesterday. And then I ran fine after a 2-hour bike ride, ran for an hour brick run. And then Sunday, today, I went for a repeat of that same bike ride. And remember, Saturday I did 4 hours total. And so Sunday I go for a repeat of the 2-hour bike ride. And I bested my yesterday's watts by doing the back part of the legs instead of the quads by, like 20 watts or something, like 15, 20 watts, same heart rate. And that was nice, like a huge jump in performance by just thinking about using a different part of the legs. Your hamstrings and your glutes and your calves are stronger than your quads, and you can use your quads, and they have a limiter, a much quicker limiter than the back half of your legs, in that that's a smaller muscle group, so you can't get anywhere near as much fuel and oxygen and all the stuff that makes you go fast to that muscle, because the muscle's smaller, So you use a bigger muscle group, you can fuel it in perpetuity is a word, I think. But anyway, and then if you pay really close attention to a cadence where you can eat and keep fueling your bigger muscle group, well, then you can sustain this kind of higher horsepower output. But anyway, for hours and hours on end. So I did 2 hours and then a 1 hour run, and the 1 hour run was nice. And that 2 hour bike ride, I put out, I think I averaged 240 watts for 2 hours. And that's after doing, 4 hours yesterday and stuff like that. And what's key here is I've got a race coming up in 2 weeks where the last year I averaged 220 watts on the bike, not 240, but just 220. And I'm about to run a red light, kinda, not a, oh, shoot. I thought it was going to stay yellow. Anyway, there's a lady running with her Jack Russell Terrier, it's cute. So last year I only averaged 220 watts for the bike, and I averaged like 22, 23 miles an hour. It's like a really flat race. And there's somebody turning left with their right blinker on. That's interesting. So then so now I'm doing test rides with lots of load and fatigue on me from previous days' work at 240 watts for nearly the same amount of time. So that's a big jump. So race day is looking pretty good, pretty good. And if I knock out this swim this afternoon, then we'll be at 21 hours for the week. I think I'm at 20 so far, and that's a big deal too. We've got Ironman Texas coming up, and I need to be hitting mid-20s in hours. So a lot of patience, a lot of not going too hard, a lot of cadence and fueling and making sure I'm doing the right thing and all that good stuff. Oh, and Melbourne was last night, this morning, whatever, and it was cool watching the race. And man, Carolyn Steffen is a freaking animal. Jeez. So our favorite Angela Nath did 6th, I think. She got 6th. But for a little while, she was in 2nd place chasing down Steffen, man. And then I'm extrapolating here. I don't know for sure, but she blew up is what it looks like to me. Just going too hard and not eating enough or eating too much and stomach getting upset, whatever. It's a fine balance with all that stuff. And how many Ironmans has Steffen done versus how many Ironmans has Nath done, which is 2 now. So experience really pays off. 30 minutes behind the winner. You do 10 more Ironmans, you're not going to be 30 minutes behind the winner anymore. You're going to have it way more dialed in. So there was all that. Okay, let's go back to the donations. Weston Tanner donated. He's got a recurring donation. If you go to the left-hand side of ZenTriathlon.com, there's a donation box. And then if you do a one-time donation, when you donate, it gives you the option to put in a comment when you do it through PayPal. And we got wait, hold on, traffic. Okay, I'm back. We got a donation from Try Todd on Twitter, a one-time donation, and a really nice email, which I won't read the whole thing, but basically he got an unexpected bonus from work, and said that this podcast gives you so much value for free about how to train and different ideas and all kinds of stuff that he wanted to pay back a little bit. See, you don't have to hire a coach. You can listen to a podcast, and then all of the information that I give out, you can pay what you feel it was worth. Whenever you get around to it, if you got money or not, it's cool. It really helps support ZenTri. And I'll give you another tip. So I'll give you 2 more tips. Make it worth your money. The swimming, if you swim every other day, that seems to be just the right amount of swimming for triathlon, okay? And you swim until you get tired, and then as you swim, you'll get faster and faster. There's no point in swimming more than about an hour. And mix in intervals, sustained periods of a little bit harder effort, and then that'll make you stronger. If you swim every day, then you get too tired to do the biking and the running, which is statistically way more important than the swim. And if you don't swim every other day, that's not enough frequency for it to be worth your time, because it takes 3 or more times a week, 3.5 times, 4 times a week, for you to get better at swimming and get competitive. If you only swim 2 times a week, that's not enough. Your body forgets between the different swims. You won't be very good at it. But if you swim 3 times a week, that'll hold you. And if you swim 4 times a week, that'll make you better. That'll advance you. So I found that basically if you swim every other day, that gives you just enough rest where you can go back and do it again, and your muscles recover enough where you can get in a good swim again and be ready to absorb the work. And then the last thing is we talk about, eating too many carbs is bad for you. It'll give you diabetes if you just power down carbs all the time. And then you should eat more fat for calories, because it doesn't seem to do that. Well, where do you get healthy fats? Man, I got a trick for you. So you go to the grocery store and you find Holy Guacamole, and WHOLLY, Holy Guacamole. It's organic, super nice, healthy guacamole, which is crazy high in fat. And you cut the tip of the corner of you get the kind, their packaging, where it's squeezy bags. They look like Ziploc bags. And you cut the corner off of the guacamole, so it's like a hole the size of a ballpoint pen would fit through. And then you squeeze out the guacamole that you want, and you can eat a mouthful at a time. And then make sure that a little glop of guacamole covers the hole when you squeeze it out when you're done, and that'll seal the container. It'll seal the bag so that the guacamole won't go brown, and you can keep guacamole for 2 weeks like that. It's really, really cool. Okay, so with avocados, which is guacamole basically, you're getting a healthy fat that is got a ton of fiber in it, which is also really good for you, and it's a plant-based fat, so it's got vitamins and nutrition. And if you're worried about animal fats and all that other stuff, then you're totally in the clear. It's super, super cool. Super cool. Okay, now before we get to the training log, which is full of more stuff like that, let's mention Trainer View, which is a nice compliment to Trainer Road. Trainer View is Google Street Map based, Street View based training, and if you get the Pro version with discount code either Zen or ZenTri, try one or the other, but you get $10 off for the year for the Pro version. And I train on it all the time to train race courses, and different cool stuff to make training more entertaining while on the bike. It'll work on the iPad, it'll work on your laptop, and again, the Pro version, you can save where you are and what you're doing and stuff. So it's pretty cool. All right, so that's it. Let's get started with the training log and the second half of Strong Like Bull training camp in Spain. It works, man. You definitely ought to go. It's super cool. All right, here we go. The training log.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name's Brett. I'm a triathlete.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
I'm not the one who's so far away when I feel the snake bite into my brain. Hey dudes, I am in Antequera. Training log! I'm trying to find the pool. John forgot his swimsuit, so I'm walking to the pool by myself. I am next to the bull ring, which is a real bull ring. And it's famous. It's the one in the Madonna videos, I guess. I think I've mentioned it before. I think I'm going the right way. Actually, I have no idea. But anyway, I thought I'd record a little bit while I wander around. And what was my point? Oh, yesterday, day before, we're driving. I think this is it. This is the way. We were passing on the highway. We were passing a park, and you know they have that fitness equipment in a park that's just kind of there, and has like pull-up bars and stationary bicycles, but it's all outdoors. And in Texas, nobody ever uses it. It's just sitting there. Well, in Spain, everybody's using it. It's really crazy. It's super, super cool. Oh, okay. I'm at the pool, Junta de Andalucia, and I'm ready to go swim. Is it open? It's open. All right, out. All right, I am right now driving a rental car in Spain. Thank God we drive on the right side of the road here. And because it'd be a little crazy. Everything's in kilometers, different signs, the whole setup. Let's see, and roundabouts, lots and lots of roundabouts, which there's a way to drive roundabouts because you got to merge and get in and get out of a roundabout. It's a lot of fun, actually. And we go flying through these little towns with roundabouts on bicycles downhill. And so yesterday's bike ride, more of the same, just crazy vertical, massive climbs. Christine, Holistic Guru, I've witnessed, sometimes you see something that you realize is really, really special. And I saw Christine do a couple of climbs on the bike that I realized I was in the presence of something amazing, like true amazing ability coming out. And wow, I couldn't keep up. And if I want to, I think that I could keep up with just about anybody. I would bury myself to do it. And I held back because there's more to do, throughout the camp. So I didn't want to totally exhaust myself. But man, I was pushing really, really hard. And I would come around a corner, and she wasn't just like still ahead of me the same distance, but like exponentially ahead of me, and just still going, and the distances just kept getting longer and farther apart. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. So she's talking about going pro, and I think, wow, easily could do it. Her talent is unbelievable. I was so impressed, and just naturally gifted. The presence of just awesomeness right there. Anyway, Went swimming this morning, and I'm a little worn out. I'm hungry. I need to eat something. And but yesterday's bike ride did like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that, and it was doing really well. And I'm guesstimating that out of everybody here at the camp, I've put in the most volume, which is perfect for me. Because people take breaks and stuff happens, or you leave with a shorter, easier group and stuff like that. And I'm trying to do the hardest stuff. But I'm now at 17.5 hours for the week in like 4 days. And yeah, 4 days, maybe 5 days. And my body's I'm just now starting to get like a little stressed, which is not going to be cool because today is Pico de Vuelta. Anyway, it means weather vane in Spanish, and it's a mountain climb. It's the highest road. It's the highest paved road in Spain, and 11,000 feet. And we're going to climb it from the bottom all the way to the top. It's about a 2-hour ride of no coasting, just straight up. Average, I think it's average 6% or average 8% grade. Hold on, I got to shift. And I got to watch out. You'll get a ticket here if you use the cell phone while driving. So I got to be careful. And we're almost to the house. So anyway, leaving the pool, we needed to pick up another van to get all the bikes to the bottom of this mountain because it's like an hour drive. It's probably a 2-hour drive. Hour and a half drive from the house. And let me catch up with John here. So we found the Enterprise and rented a van. So now we have 2 vans. And it's a beautiful day. So it was... John's driving the van back to the house, this extra van, and I'm driving the rental car that John was driving that we drove to the pool in. And on the swim, legs are pretty well toasted after yesterday. Oh, yesterday's bike, as soon as I drank a beer, a Modelo something, San Miguel, and then got on the run and ran 23 minutes immediately after the bike ride, which was nice. And so yesterday was an hour swim, mountainous cycling up some crazy stuff, and then a 20-something minute run, and then we had a barbecue last night, and then with the big group. And then went to bed as early as I could. Woke up this morning, another swim, and then today's bike ride. And once you get to the top of this mountain, it's supposed to be like you're uber badass. If you, eventually the road gets covered up in snow, and then if you try to make it all the way to the top on foot, then you're super badass. So imagine biking for 2 hours up the side of a mountain at 8% grade, and then saying, okay, well now we hit snow and you can't bike anymore. It's time to run. So that's going to be what I try to do today. After yesterday trying to keep up with Christine, my lungs are, I can tell they're a little scorched. You know what I mean? Like they're inflamed a little bit after VO2 maxing it up the side of that freaking mountain, and twice these other mountains. Anyway, and we had lunch by a lake, this beautiful, beautiful lake, and I actually got in the water. And the water was probably about 55 degrees or something, maybe 50. And I walked up to my knees and then hopped in and then got back out again and then dried in the sun. Everybody's like, holy crap, you're crazy. But man, every time I get near water like that, I have to get in. It's a thing with me. All right, I'm at the house. I'm going to eat. And we'll be back later, probably riding with Emily and the rest of the crew out to do this bike ride. All right, out. All right. I am coming to you from about 30,000 feet above Spain. Possibly over France, actually. France. And I'm in a Spanish airliner. Actually, Air Europa. And I'm in the first class, well, business class seating area. And I'm actually able to spread out nice and long, and I love the legroom. And I am so exhausted. Hold on just a second. We got up at 4 o'clock this morning to drive from Antequera to Malaga airport. And that sucked. Oh, man, I'm so tired. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Went to bed around 11 o'clock last night after boxing up both bikes, trying to eat something. Today's Saturday. Thursday was the beginning of trying to just starting to eat junkier food, because you're trying to get in the calories and the traveling schedule and the franticness of getting everything done. Not frantic, but just time compression to get everything done meant starting to reach for chips and crap food and Cokes and stuff like that for quick energy, and you can start to feel it. It's shit fuel, so you can start to feel not as hot, but you can see why people who are under stress and busy and eat that way have a poor quality health, poor quality diet. And that's only a small portion of what I was eating. Wasn't very hot, wasn't very good. Lots of the food there was lots of the food Thursday and Friday was plenty good. Handmade, homemade pizza after we were done with the mountain climb yesterday. Salads and things like that. So, but it's filling the gaps with chips instead of fruit, for example. Because you're in a van and you're rushing through a town trying to grab food on the way because you got to start a bike ride and everybody's late and stuff like that. Anyway, that's what happens. So yesterday we drove to Granada again. And I remember the name. It's the La Alhambra is the name of the Moorish castle.
Estamos listos para empezar nuestro descenso al aeropuerto de Charles de Gaulle. De momento estamos batiendo a 30.000 pies, equivalente a unos 8.000 metros, a unos 9.000 metros de altura. Y nuestra ruta de hoy nos ha llevado a despegar por la pista 3-1 de Málaga y mantener rumbo nordeste para la ciudad de Jaén, de ahí proceder a Madrid. De Madrid a San Sebastián, Burdeos, Poitiers, y finalmente París, donde estimamos tomar tierra a las 9 horas local, a unos 25 minutos antes de la hora prevista de llegada. El tiempo en París, pues una mañana fría con 6 grados y con la visibilidad algo reducida debido a la bruma. Nada más, espero que hayan disfrutado del vuelo.
He'll say this in English in a minute. Maybe.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Captain speaking. Welcome aboard. We are maintaining our pre-initial descent altitude of 30,000 feet, equivalent to 9,300 meters. And our route today have taken us take off from runway 31 at the Malaga airport, and then maintain northeast heading to overfly the city of Jaén, from there Madrid. We proceeded to San Sebastián, Bordeaux, Poitiers, and finally Paris, where we estimate to land at Charles de Gaulle Airport at 9 local time, 25 minutes ahead of the scheduled time of arrival. The weather at destination, cool morning here, 6 degrees Celsius, and the visibility is reduced due to the fog. Not much anyway. Nothing else. Thank you for your attention. I hope you have enjoyed your flight, and thank you for choosing Air Europa.
So, by the way, I've not seen a single person in shorts. So weird. Okay. So just above Granada is the start of the climb we did yesterday. And this was average 6, 7, 8% grade for 18 miles uphill. And we started where it was perfect temperatures. It was, 65 degrees, sunny. And you hop on your bike and you pedal a little ways to, and I'm talking maybe a kilometer to the start of the actual climbing. She's going to say all this in English in a second. And I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Oh, okay, so that was French. So that was Spanish, then English, and then French. Oh, I think we got some turbulence, so fasten your seatbelts. Putting on my seatbelt. So I start this climb, and the first thing that happens is my rear wheel, tire, whatever, starts rubbing against the brake and the frame of my bike, and I'm gonna climb this thing uphill. So I stopped right then. I go, nope, we're not doing that. And Sean and I work on my bike a little bit and get the wheel working better. And what did we do next? Started climbing. And the first part of the climb, I'm trying to remember, 18 miles, so let's say that's 30K. So let's go back to miles. The first 6, 7 miles is the steepest, and it's ridiculously steep. And I'm on a triathlon time trial bike. And it's geared for flat ground. So my littlest gear is a 39 in the front and a 27 in the back, maybe a 28, which is not much. And it was so freaking difficult. And I'm having to give it everything I've got to get up and over the pedals every single stroke. For 6 miles, 7 miles, 8 miles, whatever, up. And it was freaking unbelievable, guys. Like how beautiful it was and how hard it was. And this is at the end of a training week, of really intense stuff, a lot of other climbing. And I was doing what they call the paperboy, which is where you weave from side to side on the road to effectively lengthen the road, to effectively make it a little bit easier. And so I did that for a lot of the first climb. It's called the Quarry, is the first part of the climb. And it's on the Tour de Spain. And I think. And I can't express to you guys how hard it was. At one point, I thought, I'm gonna have to get off and walk. It's too freaking hard. And I got up and over finally that part, and you just settle in and just go, it's gonna. But at one point you're just like, well, I'll just go as slow as I possibly can. But then you're like, I don't have the gearing to go as slow as I possibly can. You're standing and pulling on the handlebars as hard as you can to get up and over the gearing. And then when I finally cleared that part, which again was one of the hardest things I've ever done, finally cleared that part. It wasn't just that it was hard, like physically, it was technically extremely difficult. Not falling over. And there's cars, not very many, but there's some cars. Then there's like cattle and ibex like crossing the road and things. It was just crazy. And it was the biggest challenge in cycling that I've ever seen. And then finally cleared that section. And at the top of that section is where John proposed to Christine, which was really cool. And you heard that correctly. John proposed to Christine, and that's going to be a wedding. And at that point, it was because my gearing was so wrong for that climb, and my bike's heavy because it's a time trial bike. I had burned through all my fuel. Yes, thank you. Gracias. I had burned through almost all my fuel, and I was trying to reserve the last little bits of it, just in case I needed, in case I don't know, went into a coma or something. And that, what I noticed was my heart rate dropped. Oh man, my cadence on some of this stuff must have been like 40. Like trying to turn over the gears. Pulling up on the pedals like super hard, up and over. And leaning the bike way over to the side. Every time I would lean the bike way over to get more leverage, the wheel would rub, which would slow me down. It was really like what they call being in the box. It was pretty intense. You clear that section, and then you got to. It's only that steep again, barely for a few points for the rest of the climb. So a lot of the rest of the climb, the gearing, my smallest gear was fine, and I just pedal along. But I was toasted, my heart rate had dropped down to 118, and I was putting out just under 200 watts. But on the climb, I was putting out like 230, 240. My heart rate was 140, 145, 150, 160, and that's where I burned through all my fast acting fuel, because I was going totally anaerobic to power up that thing, just pouring in sweat. And then anyway, so I wanted to talk about this for a second. Once I realized that I was bonking and I was out of fuel, and I still had a long ways to go. But the gearing was going to be easier for the rest of the climb. I just settled back into pedaling easy. And if you slow your pace down and keep things under control and don't try too hard, you can bonk and run out of energy, but then start running on body fat for fuel. And so that's what I was doing, and totally doable. I've mentioned before that you can do that. If you run out of fuel, if you're patient and calm down and go a little bit slower, you can switch to totally body fat. And it's not fun, but it's definitely doable. And if you know that that's what's going on, then it's like where you get so hungry that you're not hungry anymore. It's like your body's switched over and it goes, okay, we're going to do things on body fat now. And so I'm cruising along at 118 heart rate for quite a while, and there's a van that's following, and Sean's driving the van. Then I ask him a few times, hey, do you have any food? I need food. And he said, no, the food's in the other van that's up at the top of the hill that's waiting for us. And that sucked. And then, now we're on a little bit more major of a road. That first section I was telling you about that was so difficult was a narrow road with hardly any traffic on it. And that's why it was so technical and so vertical. And now, after the major climb, we had merged with A395, and it's got more traffic. And there's a ski resort town at the top of the mountain, and so there's a reasonable amount of traffic going up and down with the shoulder. And we start pedaling up and up that, and Emily had chosen to well, she was advised to not ride the first part because it was so difficult, and if she wanted to have a nice time, that they would drop her off about halfway up the mountain. There we go. And then we'll be in French here next. So Emily was advised to ride the second half, and so they put her out of the van, and I eventually caught her. And I told her I was bonking, and she's like, oh, do you want a Cliff Bar? I've got an extra Cliff Bar. I'm like, yes. So I ate that, and we stopped and took photos of us and the scenery, and then I rode with her just a little bit, and with the extra Cliff Bar, I was out of Amarillo bars. The extra Cliff Bar, my energy came back up, although I was still riding very conservative, and I started singing to myself, and that's a really good sign. If you're singing to yourself, then you're feeling good. And now I'm riding by myself again. Team Garmin was on the mountain, right? It's a famous climb that lots of people do. And it's really, really twisty. And And I was definitely getting frustrated here and there with everybody that's never climbed it before. It's a big group, and some have climbed it before and some haven't. Of when is this thing going to end? Like, it's crazy. Then the snow started around on the ground, rode up to snow level, and then after a while rode up to above the tree line, and now it's more snow and no trees, and then now after a while it's snow up to the edge of the road, and then after a while it's snow starting to get, thank you, and snow starting to get knee high on the side of the road, plowed, so it's like a wall of snow. Then after a while the snow starts to get waist high on the side of the road, and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. I can't get any better than this. Well, then the snow gets shoulder high on the side of the road. So it's plowed. The road is a 2-lane road and it's plowed. So there's, and while pedaling, I could reach out and touch snow with my hand. And at first I thought that was a cool idea, but then it made my hands cold and I thought that's dumb. And I'm riding with just a regular cycling kit, and then what on top of that? A cycling vest, which is real thin, and a skull cap, that's it. Because you're working so hard to go uphill, any more than that, I could have used some arm warmers at that point. And then the cloud cover started to roll in, and then climbing and climbing and climbing, and then eventually come around to the top, and Jasmine and Jeff, I'm trying to remember who was standing there. Jasmine and Eugene were standing there, and I asked them, there's like a little turn, and like now it's just so much snow that it's unfreaking believable, and there's people skiing. We're above the ski resort, and there's people skiing below us, and way above the ski lifts. And I asked them, I go, is this it? And they go, yep, you're done. And I was like, thank God. It was so freaking brutal. So I laid my bike against the snow, and I took a photo of that. The triathlon bike with a disc wheel in the snow after climbing 18 miles uphill is what it ended up being. Average 6, 7, 8% grade, whatever it was. And it took me 2 hours and 36 minutes. And definitely could have gone faster. Jasmine did it in just over 2 hours. But this is at the end of a big training week, and I'm not trying to beat anybody's time or anything like that. I was just trying, and I bonked, after the first part was so steep, I blew through all my energy. Not on purpose, but just because that's what it took to get over the pedals on some of that stuff. And if I had different gearing, easier gearing, I would have had a faster time because I wouldn't have blown through all my fuel going anaerobic, having to pull on the pedals so hard. Anyway, so it's just physics. So then, hey, here's Paris looking out the window. So then I went into the van and ate something. Oh, I ate Emily's Snickers bar, which she got very upset about later. I'd forgotten it was for her. There's a Snickers bar in my food bag, and I ate it. That was a mistake. Anyway, and then I threw on some running shoes, and I ran up and down where we parked. It wasn't even a parking lot. It's just the side of the road where we parked. I ran up and down that section of road, and it was vertical. It's probably about 5-6% grade right there. I ran up and down it for just over 10 minutes for a mile. So I did a mile brick run at, I thought we were at 11,000 feet, but we might not have been. But anyway, oh, that's another thing. Oh, so that was a 1 hour swim, 18-mile bike ride up the side of a mountain for 2.5 hours, and then a 10-minute brick run, which the brick run was actually not that bad. And when I was riding with and passing Emily on the climb, she asked me if I was having trouble breathing, and I was like, no, I wasn't even thinking about it until she mentioned it. So I guess not. And I thought that was really weird. I guess there's a fitness thing where altitude doesn't bother you, even though you're cycling at crazy altitude and running at crazy altitude. So after that, more people started to show up as they've wrapped up the ride, and we piled back in the vans and the truck and the cars, and then drove back to Antiquera. And that took a long time. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that. And everybody's trying to sleep, and everybody's like really buzzing though about what we just did. It was a crazy freaking climb. So then it was, get home, pack up at sunset, got home, back to the house, the ranch house, and then started packing up everything and trying to box up bikes. Which, after doing what we did, was tough. Really, really tough. But I have to say that bike ride was one of the most intense things that I've ever done in my life. Like, I had no idea it was going to be that hard and that long. I mean, I had a feel, and I, felt like it was doable. But the way that we kept not knowing where the top was, and that it just kept going and going and going and going, was so crazy. And I can't wait to tell people that know what I'm talking about. Pico de Vuelta de Veneta, Weather Vane in Spanish is the name of the mountain. The highest paved road in Europe, that I rode up it on a tri-bike with a disc wheel with 39/28 gearing. And Sean was like, that was pretty freaking impressive, dude, that you did that. And to tell somebody that knows what that is, say I did it on a triathlon bike. I even rode sections where it would level out just briefly. I'd get in the aero bars. It just shifts better because your hands are on the shifters. Anyway, that I did all that on a tri-bike, and then I ran a mile at the top afterwards. It was super, super cool. And I survived. So right now, depending on what I do, today's Saturday morning, and flying back to the USA, we save a bunch of time because we're ahead here in Spain. If I have the energy, I might run or something like that tomorrow. I'm already at 21 and a half, I think, hours for the week. And we still got a lot of weekend left, so we'll see. Once I started feeling a little bit overtrained, I kind of slowed things down a little bit and backed off the pace. So I'm hoping next, when we get a moment, we'll ask Emily what it was like climbing that thing. It's very, very scenic. So we'll get her input. And also about the Snickers bar. All right, out, bang. We're landing in Paris. All right, I'm here with the beautiful Emily Rhodes, who's checking her blood sugar now that we've gotten off the plane, and Delta has lost both of our bikes and my suitcase. So now Delta has lost my bike both ways.
I'm sure you want to be recording.
I'm in the whatever stage of loss of just giving in. Emily's contacts are stuck to her eyes. Oh, I should say we are in America. We're in Minneapolis, St. Paul at the airport, which is a very special part of America.
Oh, God.
Oh, Emily. So Emily's going to take some insulin boluses, as she calls it, every time. And I want to ask Emily about two things.
Can we do that?
No, we're not. She's tapping away at her thing. Okay, you ready?
I guess. Maybe. Come on. What? What's the question? This is not the best time to record right now. I want to sit down and put content.
Okay, we're sitting. Tell me about the climb of the mountain yesterday.
It's freaking crazy. It was crazy. It was sunny and warm at the bottom of the mountain, and we ended in a snowstorm, and it was foggy where you couldn't even see in front of your face. And it was. They dropped me off.
You got dizzy.
They dropped me off halfway up. I did half of what y'all did, and it was still very hard for me, but I did it. And then I kept getting really short of breath, and then like after I was done until we went to bed last night, every time I stood up I got really dizzy. So apparently that has to do with the altitude, because Jasmine said the same thing, and since Jasmine's a pro and she had that, so
not a pro yet. She's working on her pro card.
I would say she's qualified to be a pro.
No, you got to get your card.
Hey, she climbed the whole thing in 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was just one day. Oh, thank you. Anyway, so what's the other question? So it was an awesome ride, but it was really cold.
Something special happened on the ride.
Something special? Oh, yes.
Hold on. Emily just shoved the microphone out of the way so she can get her Diet Coke.
Thirsty. Jesus, man. I told you this is not the best time to record.
How many days did you go without a Diet Coke before you broke down?
Like 4, and then I saw that someone had bought a 2-liter Diet Coke, and it was in the kitchen downstairs. I was like, who got this?
Okay.
Anyway, so, and on the ride, John proposed to Christine, and it was really, really special. Yeah. And he hand designed the ring and everything, and it was really awesome.
So his last name, Hirsch, means deer in German, I think.
Deer.
And so he got a deer skull that's on a black. It's gold, but it's black in the gold.
Dumb, but it's really pretty.
And it's like an endless serpent, but it's a deer head, and it's like a really special guy to them made it and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll have to interview her about it on the show, like when y'all do an interview after they finish the second camp. And he said he was debating if he should propose to her at the camp that me and you were going to be at or next week. And he decided so that when we were here so we could be excited for her.
Yeah. So would you recommend this camp to other people?
Oh, totally. I mean,
what did you like about it?
Well, I just came, obviously, not having done hardly anything at all since my half Ironman in October. So for me, it was the chance to go to Spain with my husband, and other friends that we knew. We knew
John and Christine
and Tammy and Sean. We knew all them, and just get to hang out and see some amazing stuff. And I did what I could, and I never felt pressured. You pick and choose what you want to do. And from what we understood from the people that came last year, that they've improved just since last year, and so they were very excited about that. I mean, for me, I just wanted to do what I could and be happy. You were all, wanting to get major training in, and you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. At one point yesterday, you go, I'm a little overtrained, so I don't know how I could do on going up. I was like, whatever. Oh, you think? After 5 days? Yeah.
I mentioned on the show earlier, I started just getting short of breath at low altitude and doing nothing. And that heart's racing. That's a sign you're overtrained a little bit. So I went up the hill very, very patiently, and try not to kill myself. But at the bottom of it, there's really no other way except to kill yourself to get over that first part. What did you think about how steep that was?
It was very steep.
It Emily's jamming eye drops into her eyes. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up and talk to Emily more later when she's put away the makeup counter that she's laid out here on the table at Chili's. All right, out. All right, we are in the ZenTri mobile studios. And we are driving to the pool again. Monday morning. And let's see. We got back Saturday night. There was time change of an hour, because of spring forward or whatever. And then, what did we do after that? But we gained 7 hours by flying from Spain time zone to Central U.S. time zone. And suitcases, bike box didn't make it. My suitcase didn't make it. Emily's bike box didn't make it. So Sunday, got up and I took Kai with me. I didn't do anything all day Saturday. You're just sitting in an airplane. And Saturday was a long Saturday because of all the time stuff. And so Sunday, went out and ran a couple hours and ended up with 23 and a half hours for the week, which is really nice. And the first run I ran with Kai, we went to some mountain bike trails, and he mountain biked and I ran, which ends up being a nice comparable pace. And then he gets outdoors time and nature, and so do I. And it was cool being back in the Texas realm of the world, of what it feels like, and the weather and the terrain and stuff. And then Spain again is like West Texas. That part of Spain that we were in is like West Texas with barren mountains, and it's real pretty. But let's see, what happened after that? So trail running in the morning, and then run with the dog, who was a complete spasmatron in the afternoon, evening. And in between, we went to Freebirds, and after that, went to the local airport where the airlines had shipped our bike boxes in my bag, and they were there, so it wasn't too much trouble to go get them, although it's still a huge pain in the ass. And they need to put disclaimers on your luggage that lately, in the past decade, we have decided that we really don't think it's that important to get your luggage to places on time with you, and we consider it to be totally normal for your luggage to show up hours to a day after you get there, completely inconveniencing you for whatever trip you were taking in the first place. So I remember saying, I am done traveling with my bike, man. I only want to do triathlons where if I go somewhere, I'm going to rent a freaking bike. I am not freaking taking a bike anywhere. Of course, I'm saying that, and then I'll do the whole thing all over again. But anyway, a bike box, a hard case bike box, is definitely a nice investment. So, let's see, did all that. With nice spacing and timing and enough rest and relaxation and pretending like you don't have a job, which I did for a week, I found it actually totally doable to get in pro level training, like hour-wise. A little short on the speed. But, 23 and a half hours, and I feel fine. I'm going swimming the next day, It'll eventually catch up with me, probably. I'll need some more time off, but I'm not that worried about it. I'm trying to merge with traffic right here. And let's see, I forgot to mention, one time when I was climbing the mountain, while I was climbing the mountain, and people leaned out of their car and yelled, "Animal!" which they do, to encourage you. And what was the thing? I was looking at my numbers for that climb, and at times on the steepest parts of the climbs, my cadence was 38. That's how hard it was turning over the cranks. 38, sometimes 35, 36, but this, that was pretty rare. But 38 and putting out 250 watts. So if you have a power meter, gear your bike down to where you put out 250 watts at 38 cadence, and imagine trying to do that. That's how steep that was. And then, if you stop, you're going to fall over or fall into traffic. So you got to keep going. And that's at the beginning of the climb. That's the first third of the climb. It wasn't like that the entire way of that, but just at times, it's like, holy crap. That's cool. I love downloading data and going through it to see what you're capable of or what you had to do. It's kind of inspirational. And I think that's it. So I'm headed to the pool. Yesterday saw an article by the total immersion guy, which I don't totally disagree with. I do at times, but not totally. About technique and in the pool, technique is king, not fitness. It's combination, but once you get up to a reasonable speed, if you want to get any faster, then it's all technique. Because if you work harder, your technique comes apart, and then it just creates even more drag. It's exponentially more drag as you go faster. So drag becomes the biggest problem. So you want to swim slick. And I posted a video of Sun Yang swimming the 1500, and he breathes every time on his right side. And somebody asked me if I breathe like that, and I said, well, yeah, and he's doing a 2-beat kick. And at the end, he does a 6-beat kick and I don't know how often he was breathing, but he was like a motorboat. But only the last like 50 meters, and breaks the world record. And so, hold on, I'm taking a sip of coffee. Came back and our coffee maker was broken. It's the worst thing ever. And breathing single-sided, right? So he breathes on his right side, and on occasion would breathe on his left side. Well, he was taking 27 strokes per 50, I think, and it looks like effortless, but of course he's working hard. But the thing is, okay, so taking a breath of air, you rotate your head up for air, and it creates a huge amount of drag and slows you down to take a breath. So you want to minimize that. Well, if you minimize it too much, then you're not getting enough oxygen in for your swimming, right? You don't want to be oxygen deprived. So there is a curious situation where if you get really, really efficient, you don't have to take like he's swimming next to other swimmers who have a higher stroke rate than he does, a higher frequency, higher RPM. But he's so efficient, he doesn't need to take that many strokes because he has less drag. He doesn't need to take strokes as often to go as fast or faster than the other guys. So now he's taking strokes less often. And so when he does take a breath, and he takes a breath on every right side, because his turnover rate's a little bit slower, it's effectively almost like breathing bilaterally. Because if he had a faster turnover rate to get the same amount of air, he'd have to breathe. He'd have to breathe every other side. So I just thought that was really curious, that you can get away with breathing on one side if you're really, really sleek in the water. It's pretty cool. And it all goes back to my theory of everybody's a little bit different, and of course there's an optimal way, but you need to find the fastest way for you. And Brett Sutton, the coach of the coaches, I love his method of a stopwatch, and let's figure out what's fastest for you and try to speed it up, try different things, and in the end it's the speed that you come up with that's the king. And should always be doing that. This one technique may be theoretically better than another, but if it's faster, then you ought to work on that with the stopwatch. Okay, that's it. I'm headed into the pool. We're just going to swim for an hour, and we'll see when we get there. We'll do a little bit of Zen and kind of feel it out, and see when we get there what we end up doing. Cool. All right, out, Bing. All right, swim is over, and that was really interesting. I timed myself every 15 minutes to see the speed I was going, and I actually got faster on my last quarter as I got smarter about applying power. And I swam 2.3 miles on the dot in an hour. And if I swam with the same technique and force that I swam on the last quarter, I would have swam 2.4 something miles. So it's really cool to measure like what you're doing and compare it versus time, and so technique and force and smoothness, and look for the fastest way. So I'm excited because I only swam 3 times last week, and I did all that traveling, and I haven't slowed down statistically significantly, and because it was kind of a light swim week, so everything is good. And now I'm back at W to the ERK, and I need to eat something. Oh, during the swim, I actually fueled with Hornet juice. I stopped every 15 minutes, stopped the watch, and took a sip of water mixed with Hornet juice mixed with water, and used that as fuel during my swim. And that's really good stuff, man. I could feel it. It's so nice. And you can get Hornet juice at ZenTriathlon.com, and there's a link to Hornet juice on the side. It's a energy powder that's mostly protein. Well, it's got protein in it, and it metabolizes body fat. It's really good stuff. So anyway, that's it. Out, bang. All right, dudes. I am leaving my house. I live really close to work, so I got in a quick bike ride at lunch. And I'm on my way to swing by Freebirds and pick up my burrito that I ordered online while I was on the bike, so that I can take it to work and then eat it while I'm at the computer. And there's an 18-wheeler here I got to merge with. I'm going to get behind them and draft. Save me a little bit of gas in my gas-guzzling Xterra. So I was watching the Abu Dhabi triathlon. Oh my God, what happened up here on the freeway? Something on fire? Anyway, the Abu Dhabi triathlon YouTube link to the whole thing live. It's like 3.5 hours long. It makes for great trainer or treadmill YouTube watching. And this is the race where Jody Swallow took an extra lap on the race course. So they go around a Formula One track 3 times and then head out on a road and then come back. It's halfway between an Ironman and a half Ironman distance race. So it's medium long. And Jody took, from what I understand, Jody took 4 laps around the race course. And this is something that happens to people. I've experienced this on very rare occasion, believe me. But where you're out in front and people assume that there's no way you're winning or that you're that fast because they haven't seen anybody else yet. So do an extra lap. And anyway, that sucks. And the difference was for her, I think, something like $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 between 4th place and 3rd place, which she got by having to do an extra lap around the race course. Theoretically, if she would have moved up to 3rd. But anyway, so I was watching that on the bike trainer, and just getting in volume. I'm not sure what to say about this yet. We'll probably talk about it more in future episodes. I'm not in a place to talk about it too much yet. This podcast, people take it as the training Bible on what to do and what not to do sometimes, and I'm not quite sure what to say about it yet. But I'm getting in more volume coming up for Ironman Texas, and I can definitely feel a difference in just going for straight up volume and scaling back. I'll talk more about that in future episodes. We got lots of time until Ironman Texas, and but it definitely has a different feel. The problem is it's just scheduling, getting it in. It's really painful trying to find the time, but I think that's the difference, is who's willing to find the time. And then also the fueling, how much to eat and all that stuff. And, does the stuff where it's like, train for an Ironman in only 9 to 12 hours a week, whether that's actually doable or not, based on some research I've been doing, and different body systems. There's fueling, and then there's strength, and then there's just durability. And you can't train durability for an Ironman in 9 to 12 hours a week. I think we'll go into it, definitely in detail on future episodes. So, but I did get in a great swim this morning, and I did a full Ironman swim in about 59 minutes. So I'm maybe 58 and a half. I'm well under what it takes to do an Ironman swim, and I did it using my old swim technique that I used to do in high school that is classic. The swim, it's fast, it's really, really fast, but coaches constantly criticize it and say, you need to bring that crap under control. Well, I was doing some research. You go to swimsmooth.com and look at the different swim types, and there's the swinger, and the swinger is a wild swim type with it ends up having a really high cadence and a great turnover and catch rate, and it looks sloppy compared to the smooth swimmer, but actually for long distance open water swimming it's faster. But the downside is whenever swim coaches see it, they're like, oh, you need to rein that shit in, man. You're out of control. You're all over the place. Well, Jody Swallow, for example, does this, and gosh, she beats most of the men on most of the pro men in the swim, and so the problem is swinger style swimmers get lots of pressure to change their stroke back to a smooth style swimmer, when actually the swing style is faster. And so I was watching these videos and going, the comparison between the two and the characteristics, really enthusiastic about swimming, always on the swim deck first. I'm like, yep. And really enjoy swimming, swam as a child, loves, accelerating and just going crazy in the water. And as the personality traits, constantly told by coaches to, bring it in, has a little bit of crossover. That's one thing to fix, a little bit of crossover in the swim. Potential for shoulder injuries. I'm like, yep, that's all me. And they're like, this is the swim stroke of the fastest people. And I'm like, man, I've been trying to correct something that's actually the fastest thing already. I should have done it. So anyway, when I went and swam this morning, I said, dude, swim like you used to before you started trying to fix it, and let's see what happens. Well, turns out I swam faster with less effort than I have in a long time. So I hit 2.45 miles in 59 and a half minutes with not that much effort. I was like, holy crap. So everybody's different. So basically you figure out which swim style you are and then try to improve on it. I'm a swinger swim style, and it's got some corrections, like the don't cross over, which I do. I used to do a little bit. You probably could kick a little bit more, which I've been working on, and little things like that. Nobody's perfect. So go to swimsmooth.com and check out what kind of swim style you are, and look for the improvements that you can do to make you a faster swimmer. And just go with it. And, don't take them as the training Bible either. It's just opinions. So there's generalizations, and then there's you. So anyway, I'm about to go in and grab a burrito. Talk to y'all later. Out, Bing. All right, I think we're going to wrap up the rest of this training log and the rest of this podcast. I'm on my way to W to the ERK. And... oh, man. Okay. I've scheduled another interview with Coach Jesse Kropelnicki, which I consider just saying his last name correctly for me to be some sort of triathlon achievement. And let's see what's going on. Got up this morning. Oh, I don't know what is up with my phone alarm, but sometimes the snooze makes it never come on again or whatever. But missed a little bit of this morning's workout, but instead of just caving in, still got in the rest. 40 minutes instead of an hour, because it all counts. And last night, Kai had a Cub Scout meeting, and I was teaching them skateboarding. Oh my, somebody doesn't know how to merge with traffic. And so Emily and I pulled out all the skateboards in the garage, all my skateboards, and I had like 6 skateboards of all different kinds, and they loved it. There's a picture on Twitter, ZenTriathlon on Twitter, of the skateboarding, and all of us in the front yard practicing on the grass, and then eventually we moved out into the street. That was really cool. A lot of fun last night, and getting in the run training. I've got a half Ironman coming up, Galveston 70.3. So I needed to get in about an hour of running last night. So I ran until the Cub Scout meeting, which was 20 minutes. And then after the Cub Scout meeting, I ran another 40 minutes. And got in my hour. And it's a really good lesson in doing what it takes to get in the volume. A lot of times, me included, a lot of us would just say, well, it's 20 minutes until the Cub Scout meeting. Let's just sit around and I guess get ready. No, man, I'm freaking out the door, run 10 minutes out, turn around, come 10 minutes back. That's 20 minutes of running right there. And with long distance racing, volume counts. Any kind of volume that you get in, time on your feet, it all counts. And that's the gist of this interview with Jesse Kropelnicki that I want to get done, is his belief on critical volume. You got to get in for long distance racing. You got to get in the volume first and make sure you're durable enough to go long. And until you do that, you're going to be just a mess on. You're going to make it partway through the race and then blow up because you just don't have the durability. No matter how much speed work and stuff you do. There's a reason, like if Carl Lewis and Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps and all these guys, I'm trying to think of other people, but other examples, but sprint distance, super famous athletes trying to go long, they would blow up because they would just get exhausted because they don't know how to pace themselves, but also they don't have the durability to go long. It's actually something that you build up. So the past few days I've been working on this and going, you know what, let's hold back and just try to get in the volume and see what happens with holding back. And wow, it is a totally different system. Just putting in mega hours. There's different parts of your it's really weird. There's different parts of your muscles that get fatigued. Different parts of your body than if you just did the interval stuff. And then what's really weird is you settle in, and then your speed comes back up after you get settled in, and then because you're not going hard, your body isn't burning carbs anywhere near as much, and all of a sudden I'm not eating as much. I mean, I don't need to eat as much. I'm not starving for fuel because I'm not working the intensity so hard. And but then at the same time, you're able to get in just more and more and more volume. It's really, really interesting. So we're going to talk to Jesse Kropelnicki about this in an upcoming episode. I've already emailed him, and we're setting something up. So there's that. But I have found one limiter with big volume for sure is I'm getting saddle sores on my undercarriage.com. You know what I'm saying? And what's funny is I'm using one of those Adamo double pronged seats on the front. So I've got like matching saddle sores on either side. On the side of my tank. And there's the little tip that I need to take myself is work on myself is one reason to get saddle sores or to get also if the nose of your seat is rubbing against your thigh. Anyway, excessive pressure and excessive rubbing a lot of times is due to the seat being too high. It's jammed up into your crotch and you're trying to reach the pedals, and so the extra pressure of you trying to make that reach is causing abrasion, and then that causes saddle sores. So if you're getting saddle sores, one thing to do is lower your seat. Another thing to do, which I'm going to do first, is, which I've already done, is check your cleats and see if they've moved. And mine have. On my left shoe, the cleat has slid back, and so now I'm having to reach farther to get to the pedals, and that's causing the saddle to jam up into my crotch. And also my cycling shorts. I'm doing so much volume now. I'm wearing just old cycling shorts from here and there, and they're kind of crappy. And I think they're poor quality now because they're old and they're rubbing, and that hurts. The friction. And medicated saddle lube. Skin Sake is my favorite. Helps. And there was something else. The cleat move. Oh, if you're packing your bike, which means taking off your seat post and put it back on, you probably didn't put it back in exactly the right spot, which is my case because we just came back from Spain. And so my saddle probably raised a half a centimeter or something like that when I put it back, even though it's all measured and everything. In Spain, it seemed to be right on target, and I never looked at it to see exactly where it was when I took it apart, because we were taking apart bikes and at night and trying to get stuff done, at last second. And that's how you make mistakes, right? Being in a rush. So that's it. Thanks, everybody, for joining this podcast. And we'll see you next episode as we start the quickening towards Galveston 70.3. And, Ironman Melbourne's coming up. So we'll probably have a chat with Sonia about that race, about how that all went down with Angela Nath's first really competitive 140.6 distance race. See how she does. That's it. All right. Everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.
Hey.